All right, good morning, everybody. What a day, what a day. I bet some of you are day drinking, aren't you? I think I saw somebody already in the chat popping a hazy. Yeah, I see you. I see you, Cruiser. I see you. What a day. Welcome the day after a obliteration in Republican primaries last night. The MAGA sphere just destroyed, and on top of all of it, we got the cherry on top, the end of Thomas Massie. It was beautiful. Even better than I expected. I thought it'd be closer, and but we got the win. And today, the crash outs are not disappointing. We have the FAGA influencers, the fake America first crowd. They are very, very angry, learning that they are losers and they have no influence and they don't sway elections at all. Their real power is only on getting X-bots to promote them, to make that money on YouTube, baby, but they are not impacting real-world events, and it's soul-crushing to them, and I'm so here for it. I love it so much. It makes me so happy. So, oh man, so feeling better today. Thank you guys for the prayers. Thank you guys for thinking of me and as I've been fighting this cold. Feel much better. I got some congestion still in my chest that's coming up. So excuse me if I cough a little bit during today's live. I will do my best to block it out. But other than that, feeling much better. Even got to the gym this morning. So we're getting there, guys. My dog's okay. Lots of you asking about that. So she's recovering well, which is excellent. But yeah, so things are good, man. It's all trending in the right direction. So you guys ready for it today? We are going to have some fun. We are going to go through the absolute freakouts, coping, all the fun stuff in the fagosphere. We're going to laugh. We might cry tears of joy. They're the ones crying today. And we're going to enjoy it because you know what? We deserve it. They keep telling us we're pathetic. They tell us we're losers. They tell us we are the ones who have no idea what's going on. We're losing. We're killing the nation. Trump's abandoned his promises. They lie and they lie and they lie, and they get their money from wherever it's coming from, and all they do is sow dissension, sow blackpilling, discouragement, and it's not working. We're just too good for that. MAGA is too smart for that. Our leader, Donald Trump, is way too clever to let them win. And guys, it's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. So we're going to celebrate today, and then we're going to cover how absolutely massive last night's elections were, right up there with the Indiana bombshell that happened just the other week. This is a shot across the bow, guys. MAGA is stronger than ever. President Trump's stronger than ever. What does this mean for the midterms? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It means that the narrative we're being fed is just not the truth. We got some updates on Iran, of course, and, of course, the justice movement that President Trump is pushing across the nation. So plenty of segments today, and we're going to get started on them in just a minute. But first, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you guys for spending your time with me today. I do appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. You guys are the best. So welcome to the best community on YouTube, and we strive hard for that. So welcome to the chat. The chat's amazing. The mods will make sure the trolls don't get to be in here, because trolls are just trolling. They have nothing better to do. And that's not going to happen in my chat. My chat is for the true people who actually want to have real discussions honorably. So thank you for that and your attention to this matter. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys, as we get rolling on this. Let me shout out the first few people who showed up today as their reward for making it early, and then we're going to get right into it. We got AC Tropic, we got Aloha Patriot, and over up on Rumble. Thank you guys for holding it down over there. But the big crew here on YouTube, Let's shout some out here. Wago Waco, numero uno today. What's up, my brother? Gen X MAGA, Mark R here. Cass Sync, Texas Outlook, AC USA. Dad Bod Todd, what's going on, man? Palantir, Tirasa M, Christina, Teslin Joe, Michael Boyle, Kim Trump, Toe Cramp, yo. Nick Majors, Rum Dog, driving. You be careful, my friend. You can just listen. Don't watch. Pat M. Drewski, Beathies 2 days in a row. He's back. Miss Titan fan, what's going on from Nashville? The one, what it do? La Vitra with the hazy IPA. You know, I got to tell you, if I wasn't sick today, if I wasn't still fighting this chest cold, like this chest thing, I might have popped a day beer myself. I'm just going to tell you guys. That's the kind of mood I'm in. So, but unfortunately, I gotta be good. I gotta be smart. Aiden Scotland, Scott Falkovich, Huckleberry Squid, Alice Fordham, Tammy Anderson, Ralph Z Grooms, and Jerry Hag, Jesus Saves, and Sandals, rounding out the early birds today. Welcome, guys. Glad you made it. As always, please, if you want to get my attention, tag at me. I will do my best to try to find your questions, your comments, and then if you just absolutely got to get it to me, please. The super chat is the one way to be guaranteed you will be read. Zegrim said, should be having a drink after getting to sleep at 2 a.m. last night. Dude, were you just partying? Just partying too much last night? Enjoying the Massie loss? Let's see. Might7 says, just discovered your channel. Been laughing so hard at the Lawbert Spurgeon. Oh, man, they are Spurgeon. They are Spurgeon hard, and we're gonna get right back to it because it's good times. I am drinking water. Thank you, Ronnie. I actually have my sparkling water, slightly flavored and very, very delicious. Yeah, no bands. I did watch Ian Burlingame's episode lately on Rich Does Politics. Excellent stuff. If you guys want to understand the actual what's going on behind the scenes, City of London stuff, which, by the way, talking about City of London, and you know, the reason they go so hard that Israel controls Trump and Israel controls the Republican Party, the reason they fight so hard to convince us of that is because they are the ones controlled by foreign influence. I mean, Massie got tons of money from Iranians and Middle Easterners and even liberal Jews. So it's like they want to, it's deflection, right? And it all goes back to, this is, you know, whether it's City of London, whether it's Deep State, whether it's the globalists, the intelligence agencies, they have been running the media for a very long time. They are the ones who, it's you know, it's the whole operate, like the Mockingbird. They use it to control narratives, and that's one of the reasons I do my show, is because narratives need to be busted open. All right, Rush Limbaugh was the king of this. It's why they hated him so much. It's also why he stayed independent the whole time. Nobody could buy him, and he was the greatest. And you know, in his tradition, it's like showing up every day to break narratives, and they want you to believe so many lies, and it really works if you just live on social media and you don't know how to research on your own. You don't understand how this whole thing works, and unfortunately most people just don't have the time to figure that all out, and that's why I do what I do. But that Mockingbird media, man, it has evolved. It used to just be mainstream media. It used to be ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. They, you know, and then there's cable news, and now it's evolved, and now it's podcasts, and it's social media. And if it wasn't for Elon freeing X, they would have all the main social media channels, and we would all just be congregated in little siloed independent ones like Gab, which Gab has been, it's got its own issues, and it's barely anything anymore. Truth Social, where Trump, obviously his company owns that. And there's nothing wrong with Truth Social. It's just never going to be as big as something like X. It just won't. But it serves its purposes. That's why the president still still truce most of the time over there. But that would be all we had. And instead, like, because of what Elon did, and now it's spreading. The censorship regime has been broken up, and they've lost a lot of power. Now, they could always get it back if we don't do our job and stay on top of things, which I think we will, and I'm not worried about that. But I'm honestly not. I think we're in the beginning of winning. But with all that said, guys, some of these people, they're very smart. You know, they build trust with some truth. And they act all anti-authority, you know, so you want to trust them because we always want the government to be the bad guy and the boogeyman, and in most cases it is. So they build trust that way. But then what happens is when we actually have somebody good in the government, that no longer works anymore, because you can't always live your life thinking we'll ever win anything if we never are the ones in control, if we never do actually get power, because the only way to change the world is through power. You build it up, you get up there, and that's what's happening right now. We won, we're in charge right now, and they don't know what to do about it, and so they're trying to undercut that by some of the people who supposedly helped us get there. And that's why they're crashing out right now hard, and why they have to lie about everything. That's why they have to lie about everything. So, you know, it is what it is. But, but that's why we're gonna have fun when we. That's why we're gonna have fun when we win, when we have big wins. You know. So, sorry if anybody's complaining about my long intro. This is a live show, bro. This is a live show. If you just want the clips, watch the clips. I do clip it for people who don't like the actual engagement part. But the live show part is for talking in the crowd, stopping, you know, and adding thoughts. That's why I do both. So those who don't want the intros or the stop, they can wait for the clips. All right, that's how it works, man. That's how it works. So, yeah, Devil in Disguise says Massey's funded by Cato Institute. Jeff Yass, Yass is an American Jewish billionaire. He is. He absolutely is. So, you know, the Massey stuff is just hilarious. So, speaking of that, why don't we get into it? Why don't we jump into it? I'm ready. All right. So, the email went out this morning, my friends. The email went out to Fagosphere, the fake MAGA influencers, the true America First sphere of people who have no influence, and it really drives them nuts. So look at this. I mean, it's all together. We have Jackson Hinkle is one of the biggest accounts on X, Evan Kilgore, redhead libertarian, Tyler Oliveira, I don't even know who that one is. But you got J.P. Sears. He's pretty well known, but it's not just these guys. All right. It went to all of them. Okay. It was Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, Alex Jones. Tucker doesn't do much online, but it went across the whole thing. But here it is. It's like they got rid of Massey on behalf of a foreign country. It's the Jews. Donald Trump has betrayed his base. MAGA's turned into MAGA, the Jews again. It's always the Jews. Congratulations, Miriam Adelson. Israel won the primary. Congrats on the... I mean, listen, how dumb do you have to be to think that all these people and all the other ones I've talked about would all come to the same conclusion when the people obviously don't reach that conclusion? And we know obviously don't, because Galrain smoked Thomas Massie's butt last night. He spanked him by 10 points. You know, that tells you the voters of Kentucky aren't having it. So if the regular smart people who are completely capable of making their own decisions and are nowhere near as what's the word I'm looking for here? As nowhere near as brainwashed as everybody thinks they are. Why do all the influencer sphere people all say the exact same thing at the exact same time regularly now? That's not a coincidence. And honestly, the more you look at it, the more you got to realize, like, these people, none of them are free thinkers. They're all owned. They're all paid for and owned by somebody. And the whole Israel thing is a giant psyop. And it's because it's so clear now, because they could have legitimate gripes with Israel, because there are legitimate gripes. They could have legitimate criticisms, and somebody would have their thought over here and somebody would have their thought this day. And sometimes when something big happens, there's going to be a little bit of overlap, but they all said it all at the same time. The exact same time. And that tells you the real psyop is over here in the influencer sphere. So let's just go through some of the crash outs today, because it just makes me so happy. Owen Schroyer today. Too bad we don't have America PAC that can buy elections. I mean, they are just so mad. They're so mad. We do, actually. We have several PACs, America PACs. APAC isn't even top 15 of lobbyists and PACs in America. So there's several American PACs that put money into elections all the time. And you know what? This is another one of the giant lies they want you to believe. And that lie is that money buys elections. They want you to actually believe that. Now, does money help elections? Absolutely. It gets your reach out there. I worked in marketing for years. I know exactly how money helps get the word out. So it doesn't hurt to have money, for sure. And it can in a close election, it might be able to sway it. But ultimately, money doesn't buy elections. We've had proof of this over and over and over again. Kamala Harris spent almost twice as much as Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton spent almost 3 times as much as Donald Trump. Trump beat them both. In fact, MAGA has had a long history of candidates that have beat challengers who are better funded. Ken Paxton right now is going to be an excellent example of this, as the Cornyn Rhino campaign has spent nearly $100 million to try to take out Ken Paxton, yet Ken Paxton is going to trounce him. He was already winning, and Trump went ahead and endorsed him to push it over the edge and guarantee it. But it's money doesn't win elections. And so this whole idea that Israel can buy elections, first of all, Israel doesn't have that much money. Okay, they get paid. They get about $3 billion a year from us in aid for weapons and stuff, which it's a lot for you and me. It's not a lot for our American government. And that small country, they can't funnel it all back here. They have things they use it for. But regardless, we can all debate whether or not we like that or not. That's not the point. The point is they don't have enough money to buy our elections. They can help. They can put some sway into it, but AIPAC is nowhere near what they want you to think it is. But Owen Schroyer, because he's a moron and he's completely bought and paid for, is one of those people trying to push that narrative just so you believe that it's always the money, guys. It's always the money. It's always the money, but except it's not. Here's a great post from somebody who just doesn't ultimately matter, Shannon Joy, but she does give you some insight into what these people are thinking. And she says, "Good morning. I spent almost 7 days on the ground in Kentucky as an eyewitness to the political destruction of the most popular public servant in the country, Thomas Massie." I'm sorry. Didn't we just have a popularity contest? Isn't that what an election is? Elections are popularity contests, are they not? Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. So, the most popular public servant in the country just completely lost in a primary. Couldn't even make it to the main event. This guy, it was an undercard bout, and he got knocked out in the second round. That's like saying the greatest fighter of all time was just destroyed against a lightweight, against a guy who's never won a fight before. Yeah, that's not how this works, folks. Once something like that happens, you don't get to say they're the most anything positive. So, but this is the kind of nonsense they say, guys. I mean, the lies in this post. What I witnessed yesterday was not an election. It was a psychological operation with a predetermined outcome designed to demonstrate extreme power and demoralize our population, especially younger generations. I mean, this is the cope. The cope is insane. It's so pathetic. These people are so pathetic. They actually think we care and will believe this stuff. It's the most insane stuff. Now that this incredible right-wing MAGA person, Anna Kasparian, co-host of the Young Turks, one of the most hardcore leftist and pro-Islamic podcasts and shows on the World Wide Web, is letting you know her thoughts on Thomas Massie and how much she loved him. But right. Just totally the Israel lobby pumping tens of millions into a freaking GOP primary race for a single House seat had nothing to do with it. Why did Trump turn on Massie in the first place? Because his role in getting the Epstein files released, which I completely debunked last night on my show, which implicated Israel for its ties to the pervert. I suspect Tapper has read Dropsite's report. Dropsite is a rag reporting site, by the way, guys. It's like that's like saying that because Salon reported on it, or Rolling Stones reporting on it. Just completely run by lefties who twist the truth. His refusal to bow to Israel and fund their atrocities and slaughter campaigns. He had no problem bowing to Jeff Yasso, did he? Not at all. And his vocal opposition to war with Iran, being fought on behalf of the Jews. We got more to talk about that one later, guys. But I talked about this last night. This whole like Massie's the reason the Epstein files got released. It's the dumbest thing ever. And, the short of that is that if you don't understand how our politics work, one House member does not get anything done. It has to pass the House, it has to pass the Senate, and then it has to be signed by the president, or else he can veto it, and then you need 66% of the Senate to overturn that. The Epstein files were never getting released without Trump being on board. It just wasn't happening. So anybody who gives that credit to Thomas Massie, and they'll say, but he put the pressure on. Did he? Did he really? Because Trump didn't really seem too concerned about it until it was perfect timing to rug pull him. And as far as the connections to Israel, which, there's some in there. But you know what the real connection was? The Democratic Party. How about the Rothschilds? Those were the crazy connections in there, to name a few. Or how about Steve Bannon being Epstein, one of his best friends? Yeah. So it was much worse for Democrats, globalists, and fake MAGA than it was for anybody in the Trump administration, except for maybe Howard Lutnick. but Massie really had very little to do with it. Now, they're already pushing this. Ed Galbraith received 10,854 mail-in ballot votes tonight. Thomas Massie lost by 10,280 votes. That's not a coincidence. Except for the fact that Galbraith, his 10,800 mail-in votes last night were 56% of the mail-in votes. And you know what he won with? 56% of the vote. So his mail-in ballots were the exact same ratio as the overall win, because Massie got mail-in ballots too, friends. He just only got 44% of them. I mean, it's so pathetic. It's not like they were tallying it and, Massie was up 2 points, heading into 7:00 when the polls closed. And all of a sudden it was like, Massie's winning. Oh, and then a drop of 30,000 or, well, in this case, 11,000 mail-in ballots dropped and shot Galbraith to the top. Yeah, that didn't happen, just like it did happen in 2020 election. So, we can see fraud when it happens in real time. Last night, Thomas Massie got his butt handed to him beginning to end. It was a drubbing. It was not a last-minute puncher's chance win. It was you just showed up and got reamed the entire time. That's not a rig, folks. That's not how stolen elections go. Stolen elections they figure out what they need, and they produce that little push later. Just look at how all the House races in California were stolen in 2024 and so on. So these narratives, excuse me a second. These narratives keep getting pushed. Defeat of Massie is the worst thing to happen to Jews in America, because he was such a Jew-loving person. Now, every single Jew will be subject to suspicion of dual loyalty. I'm just telling you how it is. AIPAC, Israel and Miriam Edelson ensured a deep hatred for Israel and a deep suspicion many of our fellow Americans are actually Israelis. They thought Nick Fuentes was bad. They have no idea what they just created in our youth. Really? You know, the youth, you know, like, listen, I was young once. I was 18, I was 20, I was 22, 25. And here, I'll tell you something about being young. You're a moron. You don't know it. You might be a very smart moron. You might be a pretty based moron. I was already working, supporting myself. I was trying to be a good citizen. I was paying attention to politics way more than anybody else I knew at that age. And looking back, I'll just tell you, I was a moron. And I had to learn how to not be a moron. And that takes experience. I'm sorry. No matter of books can make you not a moron. And I'm sorry if you're 24 watching right now and you're like, hey, I'm not a moron. Yes, you are. And I don't mean that in a mean way. You just cannot be that smart about life until you grow up. Okay, you just can't be. You have to experience a lot in life, and you're going to keep learning all the time. And then once you get to your late 30s, early 40s, you're going to start realizing something. You don't know very much. And we know a lot, and the more we know, the less we know. And, you know, and there's a reason why, by the way, thank you to the boomers who did win this election. You know, sometimes I'm hard on the boomers. Not today. They won this election. I'm glad they did. But but here's the thing about being young. Your opinions change. Oh my God, it happens. Everybody's acting as if these kids are going to be locked into these beliefs for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So everybody was like, the young, they're going to have this deep-seated hatred. No, they're not. They're going to wake up at some point. Life is going to teach them. Nobody gets out of the lessons of life. You just decide what to do with them. But you don't escape them, and you're going to grow up, and you're going to have new ideas. That's just how it works, guys, okay? I'm sorry, but that's how it works. And what you believe now in many areas, you're not going to believe in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's just not going to happen. How do we know this over and over and over again? Well, how about every freaking decade, we're told how the youth are so liberal. The youth are so liberal. They're all Democrats. And they do. They vote overwhelmingly for Democrats for decades. And we're always told, watch out for the youth. Well, what happens when those youth get older? Do you know how freaking Democrat Gen X was when they were young? Going to Nirvana concerts and Pearl Jam concerts and out there, rock the vote, man, for Bill Clinton. Rock the vote for Al Gore. All those people, Gen Xers. Guess what? You know who the number one MAGA group is now? It's Gen Xers. Yeah, people grow up and learn. Yeah, Gen Xers are more red than the boomers because the boomers get scared their Social Security will be taken away. And I'm not talking to all of you guys. I'm generalizing, okay? I'm generalizing, all right? But, sometimes we have to speak in generalizations. And the generalization is this. Gen Xers were retarded. And now Gen Xers are very smart, okay, when it comes to voting as a block. Millennials were retarded. And guess what? Millennials almost broke 50-50 for Trump. Yeah, millennials started growing up. We learned. And we were hardcore liberals. I wasn't, but my generation was. And so I'm sorry. I'm just like, when people say this, they've ensured the youth. They have no idea what they create within our youth. Dude, the youth will change. Youth will change. In about 5 years, 10 years, they're going to realize that they didn't lose their job because of Jews. They're going to realize that that gas prices aren't up because of Israel. They're going to realize that their 401k, their decisions on what they do, on what they invest in, isn't because of Netanyahu. They're going to realize that at some point. They're going to actually learn to take responsibility. And the ones who don't will just remain losers forever. But most will. Most will figure it out, just like they always do. And that's why when you're dumb and young, you vote with your heart, and you're usually a liberal. And when you get older, life beats you up a little bit. Your brain starts developing. You got a lot of experience now to turn that knowledge into wisdom. You actually start making better choices and you figure stuff out. And that's why you never got to worry about the youth, because the youth are going to grow up. I'm sorry. It's just that's time after time after time. And Roseanne Barr, very famous Jew, puts it right here. Don't care. We'd rather live with the condemnation of Groyper incels than be killed by Nazis and Islamists. I gotta love it. Roseanne for the win. All right. For those watching last night, we had to check in on Robert Barnes and Baris. I just want to remind everybody again, Robert Barnes, the ultimate fraud, had to say to all those losers who want to doubt People's Pundit Rich Baris poll on Kentucky 4 and think Massie has no chance, DM me and make a little wager. I really hope people DM'd him. He wouldn't let me DM him because he blocked me a long time ago, even though I just was very nicely asking him a question. But it was a question he didn't agree with. So Robert Barnes has blocked me, so I couldn't DM him and make this bet because you guys know I would have. I would have easily, gladly put up $500 on this. But I hope others did, and we'll see if he pays out. I'm sure nobody does because this guy is a total fraud. And the truth is Baris knew what he was doing, which we're going to get to here in a minute. But let's just laugh at Barnes' fat face right here, because one way or the other, he lost big, whether it was his reputation or his wallet or both. We have Caitlin Collins and CNN. Well, CNN is very disappointed that Massie lost. So, this kind of tells you all you need to know. But let's watch CNN and how they're feeling this morning.
He said the Epstein files, something that went from seeming like a far-fetched dream to a reality. And he referenced that in his speech tonight. I want you to listen to what he told his supporters.
We need basic decency. That's what the Epstein Files Transparency Act was all about. By the way, today is the 6-month anniversary of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. We've taken out 24 CEOs.
The Epstein Files, the way they did it, not saying the Epstein Files in general being released is a bad thing. We all wanted that. But the way he did it had nothing to do with truth. Nothing to do with truth. It was all about grandstanding to make Trump look bad. That's the entire reason it was done the way it was, which we'll talk about more in detail later. But again, he's always got to come back to this because principled Massie.
An ambassador, a prince, a prime minister, a minister of culture. And that was just 6 months.
Did you hear that person yell, "Thank you"?
7 months left in Congress.
Oh, okay. 7 months left. I'm sure his record for the next 7 months will be right on par with his first 12 years, which is getting nothing done.
I mean, first, what do you make of his loss tonight and what's to come potentially?
Thomas is a good friend, so I'm saddened just on a personal level. I was very angered over the last couple of days seeing the smears on his character.
Oh, poor.
He's a good man.
This is coming from one of the most hardcore lefties in the entire Congress and all of politics, Ro Khanna, okay? Total fraud, complete communist, and he is talking about what a good man Massie is. So just in case you forget who Ro Khanna is.
Put his career at risk to pass the most popular and consequential bipartisan legislation in the Epstein Transparency Act, probably in modern history. It pulls off the charts, and it was to hold the elites accountable for treating young girls as dispensable. And he lost his seat because he stood up against the Iran war. And the lesson really is that people who are against the Epstein class and against this war don't have a place in the Trump coalition.
Class.
And look, he was winning voters under 45 by 30%. And if they don't have a place in the Trump coalition, there's a new movement that thinks this system is rotten and that wants to build.
Do you guys notice all the same stuff? So why would a Democrat be sad that the most principled conservative is gone? Because he's not a principled conservative. Because they were using him to ruin Trump, to slow Trump down. And again, it's always the same talking points. Well, apparently the U's don't have any room in the Republican Party. Oh, the U's. Listen, The U's are going to mostly vote Democrat, as Ro well knows, and they shouldn't be upset about that. The fact that like Ro Khanna is bemoaning the fact that this supposedly hurts Republicans is such a crock of that. I just, this is insanity. These people think we're so stupid. Here's Chris Martinson, who, big personality on X here. Here's my hypothesis. What we just witnessed in Kentucky with the Massie loss was a struggle session. It was designed to send a message. We're fully in control. You have no power. You might as well not even waste the time to vote. Really. So there was no voting allowed. What happened? I don't understand. I thought Massie got tens of thousands of votes. This is the loser mentality. This is what Democrats do all the time. Well, we lost a Democratic election, so democracy is dead because we lost. And whenever you vote and we lose, that's not democracy. Democracy is only when you vote Democrat. That's why we call ourselves Democrats, because we are the only party of democracy. This guy is supposed to be a conservative. And for him to say something this retarded tells you all you need to know. An operation designed to inflict demoralization. Same as not being allowed to be on the beach alone during COVID. What? Do these people even read about what they're writing, like what they're writing before they blast it out there for the world to see? Do they have any help? Does nobody just tell them like, dude, that is the stupidest thing. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? What does last night's election have to do with not being alone on the beach during COVID? I don't know. That seems like quite the bridge, like a bridge to nowhere right there. That's pretty insane there. Same as publicly executing Charlie Kirk. Really? So Thomas Massie losing an election is the same as killing Charlie Kirk? Wow. Same energy, same intention, same people. What? We no longer need to wonder why the Trump administration has zero interest in finding CK's actual killer. Except, what if it is Tyler Robinson? We don't even know that. Let's see that happens in the court, like the case. Are you serious right now? These people, man, they're crazy. And then at the end, that's what the Massie loss means to me. Okay. Okay. But hey, this is a guy who cares so much about democracy. He follows it up with this. I'm now blocking all boomer MAGA-ists without a second thought. Okay. Because we're anti-American. So I guess you don't care about democracy, huh, Chris? How about that discourse? Gretchen Carlson, that famous Fox News host who left and was always a lefty, had to come out. I'm begging Massie to go to the House floor ASAP. Read all of the names of the Epstein files. You were a hero for survivors. You believed them and fought for them. Your actions were brave and heroic. Now blow the whole thing wide open. Thank you. Anybody want to take a guess what's going to happen? How about Massie is not going to do this at all because he doesn't have anything? Because the last time he went, he blew open the names of guys who were not associated with Epstein at all because they were too stupid to do the research and read the next file. You guys want to bet his next 7 months that we never see this happen? Even though he has access to everything unredacted, he has full access, and he can go on the House floor and say all of it without any fears of being sued because he's not held liable for what you say on the House floor. You're protected. Anybody else want to take that bet? Hey, Barnes, can I bet you on this one? Because I'll win. I want to guarantee you guys right now, we're not going to see any of this. But hey, nice try. The cope is unbelievable. Now, the question is if Gretchen's actually stupid enough to believe this is possible. But the truth is Massie doesn't have any of this, and that's why he hasn't done it yet. Nick Fuentes, that bastion of truth, he's having his own crash out. We'll give him a minute here to tell us what he thinks.
The neocons, these people, the Likudniks, they have been in control of the GOP, and all I know is this apparatus needs to be shut down. That's all I know. This Rupert Murdoch, Fox News, Trump, Ike Perlmutter, Paul Singer, Miriam Adelson, AIPAC, Trump, thing needs to be fucking destroyed. And I don't care who does it. It can be James Fish.
You see how angry he is? The passion. You guys got to understand last night. They really thought Massie was going to win. And they thought that today they'd be celebrating the fact that they are the true America First crowd, that people really listen to them, that all these bots that, come over from Pakistan that blow smoke up their skirts, they're like, oh man, we are really important. We are really popular. Look at this. Look at all this money I'm getting. Look at these super chats I'm getting. Look at this. I have 10,000 people watching my stream right now. I matter. I'm in the news. Alex Jones has me on his show. I really matter. And, I get retweeted by Candace Owens. I really matter. They all just circle jerk each other, believing that it's real intimacy, that they like something big is actually happening. And I honestly believe they buy their own lies. I do, because they're paid. They all have a purpose. They're all assets of one way, shape, or form. These are not honest people, and that has been completely proven at this point. But the one thing that is honest about them sometimes is the fact that they actually think they matter. Nick Fuentes actually thinks he matters. Meanwhile, his entire coalition of followers is bots and 23-year-old guys who haven't had a girlfriend yet. And when they first get that girlfriend and they actually have to try to dig up some masculinity to keep her, they're going to realize oh man, this guy's a loser. And they're going to grow out of it. And that's his entire base. That and a bunch of retards who've just never left their mom's basement. 35 and playing World of Warcraft with him in the background. That's it. That's his real coalition, other than the bots that are making sure he's getting his paycheck. So, but he doesn't know that. He doesn't want to believe that. But last night, the fact that Massie didn't just lose, exactly what we all hoped for happened. He got smashed. Double digits, or really close to double digits. And because of that, they have to deal with the fact that nobody cares what these people say. And that's the real reason they're so angry today, guys. And so what are they doing? They're ramping up the language, because that's what you do when you throw a little tantrum. I know I've raised 6 kids. When the kids are being dumb or making terrible decisions, and you got to discipline them, or you got to put them in their place, and they realize they have no real power in the household, mom and dad have all the power, they get really mad and they start saying terrible things, and they get angry and they smash their feet and they cry. The little ones do. And this is what we're watching right now. We're watching a tantrum. People realizing they have no power.
Back, it can be Thomas Massie. It can be Steve Bannon. It can be the Democrats. It can be AOC. I don't care who does it. Fuck them. Randy Fine, Mark Levin, and Laura Loomer. I don't know where I'm going to land. I am not going to land side by side with those sick and disgusting, vile traitors to the country.
Yeah, I love it so much. I don't like Randy Fine. I don't even like Laura Loomer, even though I use her reporting sometimes. You know why? Because sometimes Loomer has the receipts. Just like I'll quote other people I don't like. I can't stand Mario Nawfal. Can't stand him. I use his stuff all the time because he gets some good info and puts it out there. And you know what? I'm going to use the real stuff. I'm just not going to share the opinion stuff. Laura Loomer, I don't like her, but sometimes she had the receipts. She definitely had the receipts on Massie. She definitely exposed him. But, but of course he uses just those people. He doesn't say all the millions of good people or the tons of, like Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder's had Nick on a couple times now, debated him. Steven Crowder and Nick couldn't be more opposite in how they see things going. And but he doesn't mention Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder has millions of fans. Steven Crowder's really MAGA. He doesn't mention that. No, he's only going to pick and choose as if these people, this little group of this coalition of the people that sometimes are the ones we don't like. He's going to use them as if they're the face of MAGA. And that's why these guys keep losing. That's why these guys keep losing. Well, Gavin Newsom was really upset about Massie. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, California, the hardcore, like, worst governor in America. The guy who literally no one can stand even in his own party, who is about as left as it gets. Family with Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, he's like true blue Democrat. Why is he so mad that Massie lost? Trump just defeated the sole Republican who forced DOJ to start releasing the Epstein files. Tells you everything you know about Trump, what's left of the feckless GOP. You know what this proves just over and over again, guys? The entire method of how the Epstein files were handled was a gigantic psyop. This proves it over and over and over again. We got millions of files released. It makes the Democrats look terrible. It makes Trump look pretty good. And yet they just keep acting as if the Epstein files were going to be this gigantic end of the government thing. End of, this whole world power. I don't know what honestly, I don't even know what they're trying to push out there, because I don't think they even know. I think they just use the word Epstein to mean something so that it can be whatever you want it to be. But whatever it is, it's bad. Okay. And the fact that Gavin Newsom and Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur and CNN are the ones so upset about this, when if Thomas Massie is the true blue actual conservative they want you to think he is, he would be the greatest threat to the Democrats. And yet he's not a threat to any Democrats. They love him. They love him so much. Kind of tells you all you need to know, right? Peter Schiff, libertarian. The libertards are really exposing themselves on this one too, as actually basically being lefties. Peter Schiff, it's not Thomas Massie who lost today. It's the Republican Party that lost, and more importantly, the United States lost. That was deep. That was deep, Peter. Thankfully, Luongo just said, pretty sure it was Thomas Massie. You got to call him out, guys. Got to call him out. Alex Jones, the storm is here. Israel scores a devastating victory against the American people in Massie in Kentucky. But now the people know. And he's just going to rant and rave. And here's a little bit more. My response to the historic foreign interference in the Kentucky congressional race. Tonight, the Epstein class is celebrating their defeat of the populist. Well, hold on. Populist? I thought he was a conservative. You can't really be both. You know that, right, Alex? Now, Alex can't decide whether it's World War III or World War IV, so I really don't think he understands the difference between a populist and a conservative. But I just want you guys to know you can't be both. You can't be a principled conservative and be a populist. You just can't. So which is it, guys? You guys are getting your wires crossed, but let's leave it on the true AJ face for this. I guess the storm's here, though, because apparently Israel beat the American people last night, despite it was all Americans in Kentucky, like the most American Midwest type people, you can get. It doesn't get much more American than Kentucky. This isn't a coastal city flooded with immigrants. This isn't an urban center. This is like Kentucky, America. And yet they somehow decide to go for Israel. I don't know. That's pretty crazy stuff. All right. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this one. So I figured I was going to save it towards close to the end. But we all need the Rich Baris meltdown because it's epic. So I figured I'd save this one for you guys. Here's Baris and Barnes as their hours-long stream of trying to be professional and try to pretend like the Massie thing doesn't really matter. Well, this is where it all fell apart, and Baris lost his mind. And I want you guys to enjoy this one. Savor it.
Dude, I mean, yep. Dude, Massie, let me just say this for the Republican donor who just texted me. Okay, it was close. It's not that much of a blowout. You had to spend...
What? 10% is not a blowout for the most popular man in Congress? Okay. Take it at your word, Rich.
$25 million to knock him out, and it's a primary. We're concerned about a general election, okay? A general election. Israel and foreign policy does not win national elections. You're going to get fucking creamed. You're not listening because you think you bought a Senate seat. You bought a district seat and you fucking won here.
What? Hold on a second. Before you keep dropping F-bombs there, Baris. You really think that this is going to lose a Republican seat in Kentucky? Come on, man. What is happening here? But the U's were going to vote Republican. No, the U's don't vote in midterms, bro. I'm sorry. It's just a fact, as we found out again yesterday. But okay. Hold on.
You burned the party with your little tantrum, with your $30 million tantrum. You're burning the party to the fucking ground. And if you're unhappy about tonight's show, wait until you see tomorrow's.
Nobody's unhappy about your show, Rich. In fact, we're very happy. We're watching it right now. Actually, really enjoying it. So, just saying, I'm having a good time. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really enjoying this. So, but I guess his show today is going to be even more crazy. So, I'll make sure to clip that one as well.
That's it. You're not getting it through your thick head. This isn't a win. You fucking hurt everyone here. You hurt everybody. For your selfish fucking reasons. Now you're not going to learn until you lose the popular vote next November by a fucking 10 points or more. That's when you're going to learn. And what are you going to tell everybody then? Look at what you did to Trump's approval rating. Look at what you did to it.
They did it. They always did it. You know why he says that, guys? I've told you this 100 times. But I'm going to say it again. Baris knows this. If Baris all of a sudden comes out and says that Trump is a moron and Trump sucks, he'll lose his entire audience, and there goes his grift. He'll lose all his money. He'll lose every little bit. Like, he'll lose these $5 super chats coming in. So he can't say that. It always has to be the people around Trump. This is Steve Bannon's move, too. It always has to be there because they can't lose their audience. So, but there it is. Like, you cost Trump his approval ratings. You did it. Yeah. No, it's and those are mostly fake, but we'll get to that later.
You think somehow that Ed Gallrain beating Thomas Massie has made up for what you have done to this presidency? You're fucking retarded if you think that. You're done. You think everyone's lying? You think the New York Times is lying?
What? Hold up. Hold on a second. Hold on. Do I think the New York Times is lying? Yes, I do. I think they're always lying. Rich, I thought you were a conservative. Don't you know this? Don't you know the New York Times is always lying? But it's just what is these people, man. It's unbelievable.
This ain't 2020, bro. They're right. And actually, Robert, the New York Times has a very good track record of the House vote in midterm elections.
Did you hear how he qualified that one? The New York Times is usually right in midterm elections. Let's do that one more time because it's really funny how he says that. He catches himself and he's like, I have to say something here.
The New York Times has a very good track record of the House vote in midterm elections.
In midterm elections, I think at that point Richard had too many pina coladas.
The New York Times Siena poll is very good at the House vote in midterms. Go look it up.
Look it up, bro.
They are not
Trust me, bro.
Missing by somehow some miraculous margin, and Republicans are going to pull this off because Thomas Massie lost a primary. You're in an ethno-religious supremacy delusion.
An ethno-religious supremacy delusion. Okay, because I don't like Thomas Massie. Because we could see Thomas Massie's a total fraud. We're in an ethno-religious supremacy delusion. Wow, what a word salad that was, Rich. Did you learn that one from Candace?
That's your problem. You are in an ethno-religious supremacy delusion, and somebody.
So repeat it. Okay, just repeat it.
Somebody's got to say it out loud. And I know everyone's afraid to, but I'm not. What are you going to do?
What are you gonna do? We're gonna win elections, bro. Your guys are gonna lose.
Nobody watches me because you gave them permission to. You guys are burning everything to the ground and you're claiming victory on the way out. Read a history book.
So Thomas Massie's loss last night had something to do with the history books? What? What is he even saying? Nothing this man even means anything. Rich didn't even know what to say. And so, here's one more clip of Rich Baris. Here's where he admits that he didn't trust his own poll. Listen to this. This was crazy when I first heard this.
So yeah, guys, I don't know what to tell you. The other night, like I was saying, and I know Paul's listening, I accidentally bought Gallrin 5 to 10.
Rich is just now admitting to us that he accidentally bet on Gallrain winning by 5 to 10 points. I don't know what to tell you guys. I accidentally bet on him. What are you, a freaking moron, Baris? Were you drunk? How do you accidentally bet on somebody winning by 5 to 10 points? Your own poll had Massie up by 1 point. Did you rig the markets? I mean, what? So you just made it rich because you lied to us? And why would you admit this? Is anybody going and looking at what Rich bet on? Why would you admit you bet on a Gallrain to win by 5 to 10 points? What? This guy is a retard. Anyways, let's finish.
So I cashed out before when it was like, dude, it was like a 92% return already. So
oh, thanks for admitting that you made a 92% return, Rich. Thanks for telling everybody how you bet against your own poll that you were supposedly the great pollster and you made 92% off it. Wow. Keep writing those checks, buddy.
I was like, oh, I am out. And I left it. And it was an accident. I didn't mean to buy him. And I was like, well,
I just can't. I just can't. Have any of you ever accidentally bet on something ever? I mean, this is insane. It's insane.
It's a hedge bet, if it's wrong, because I really did see this race going like this for either side. And by the way, so did both sides. Both sides at the very, and I think I can say it now. I think so. Like Massie's polling had the race very close. Massie up, definitely tightened, and it was like a hair. It was very close to ours. At the end, Gallrin's polling, which switched a month or so ago, they did put back to Gallrin, and I think they had him up by 9. I want to say 9. So it's going to be.
So what we just learned, based on Rich's reporting here, which is obviously very, very reliable, maybe not as reliable as the New York Times, according to Rich, but very reliable. He just told us that Thomas Massie, his campaign are a bunch of idiots. And El Gallrain's campaign nailed it. I don't understand how any of this makes Rich look better, Massie look better. It definitely makes Gallrain look better. It makes it look like they actually have a competent over, because they won by 9+ points, whereas Massie lost. So I don't know. Maybe they were just feeding Massie what he wanted to hear. Because Baris obviously was, because he was betting on. He bet on Gallrain. That's so funny. I just can't get over the fact he bet on Gallrain. It's unbelievable. All right, so Andrew Wilson had to write this. And he says, when I was younger, the Ron Paul revolution was a big deal. I mean, a really big deal. Tons of enthusiasm from younger voters. Future is libertarian. We'll break the back of central bankers. We'll stop these endless wars. Never went anywhere. I liked Paul, too. Let's just say it right now. Thomas Massie is Ron Paul 2.0 and way less successful. Way less successful. It's going to be the exact same thing. They're running the same narrative that the youths are all on Thomas Massie's side. We shut out the youths. It's going to be a America first. Thomas Massie will be president. The youths are going to bring it home. And in 10 years, MAGA is going to be running the Republican Party still, and those youths are going to be voting Republican. And let's just be honest, Thomas Massie is not going to amount to anything. Not going to amount to anything. And just like Andrew Wilson reminds us all, it's ridiculous, and it's not going to amount to anything. And Botcha, who's just been one of the best, actually breaks down really well why Massie actually lost here in a minute and a half.
Well, Trump went all in on Massie's opponent, Navy SEAL Ed Galrain, and Massie's loss is being portrayed as yet another example of Trump's iron grip on power. But it's actually about something else, too. Think of the issues that Massie broke with Trump over: Epstein, Iran, and Israel. Massie made an obsession with the Epstein files and a newfound anti-Zionism into the cornerstones of his campaign, repeatedly invoking anti-Semitic stereotypes by accusing Jews and Israel of buying the race.
The difference in this race, what people need to watch, is it's a referendum on whether the Israeli lobby can buy a seat in Congress.
What a total tool.
It will be a referendum on foreign policy, whether Israel gets to dictate that by bullying.
Guy is such a fraud. It's unbelievable.
Just in case I lose, they gave me the number to call to concede. The area code is Tel Aviv, though.
This wasn't about breaking with Trump. It was about breaking with his voters. Like so many other former MAGA stalwarts, people like Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Massie was following the clarion call of clicks and online engagement, forming his views to suit the demands of the YouTube comment section and misreading them for the views of middle America. They're not, as Massie's humiliating loss suggests. Kentucky didn't reject Massie because he broke with Trump 30% of the time. They rejected him because people hostile to Jews just can't win mainstream elections. At least they can't on the right.
It's a good point, and it's also the anti-Trump point. Because, guys, we don't hate Israel. We don't hate Jews. We can have regular, actual tempered discourse about it, about what's good and bad about our relationship with Israel. That's what something true MAGA does. We don't just pick and choose to hate groups of people. We don't play the left game. We don't play the race baiting. We don't play the culture card like that. We don't make it about race. We don't make it about identity. And so that's a really good point right there. And Thomas Massie just played the left-wing playbook, and he got his butt kicked for it. This is a great post right here. It says, what really happened was deep state bot farms manipulated dumb influencers to spread anti-Israel propaganda via positive reinforcement and dopamine loops. Anytime they posted Jews bad, they were rewarded with lots of clicks. So they repeat the process over and over until they were subconsciously spreading Iranian deep state propaganda in wartime. 100%. The entire Israeli obsession on the internet was astroturfed by nefarious entities. It's not real. It's true. It's not real. And I get people all the time. They're always bots or just idiots who come in my chat or on my comments, be like, "Oh, did you get your 7,000?" It's like it's just so retarded. And popularity of this mindset massively overstate and misrepresent online's all an illusion. It's a psyop. It's a gigantic psyop. And if you're falling for it, you're dumb. It's really a very small but loud minority who have been duped into believing they had more influence than they truly did. It's all an op, just like I said. Bongino posted this. Turns out Jimmy, Dave, Igor, Ryan, assortment of Jew-hating life losers, disgruntled libs, sexual deviants, leg humpers, drunks, and failed comedians really aren't a great coalition for winning a conservative primary election in real life. We didn't ask for the ideological war. They did. We finished it. Matter of fact, we didn't even invite them to the party. They invited themselves, and when they shit in the punch bowl, now they're playing dumb is why we threw their asses out. Take your 40s era agitprop BS, shove it up your ass, go back to where you came from with your river to the sea terrorist friends. Radical libs will welcome you back with open arms. Agitprop's their thing. It's their only thing. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks to the real conservatives saw through the BS. 100%. And just to reiterate, here's a great graphic that really, really gets it right. Don't shoot, I'm retarded. Prove it. Israel controls our government. And that, my friends, is how we do, how you weed out Massie voters. Oh, man. All right, guys. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you want to join, guys, get in the Discord. That's the best place. The best place for the community is in the Discord. The link is in the description. Get a free month to the Patreon. You can try out the Discord and members content. Next, we're going to talk about the massive win that was last night and what it means for the midterms looking ahead as Trump continues to show that he really is the one who runs the Republican Party with MAGA. And we're not controlled by these influencers. They have no sway at all. That the people who believe them are, low IQ or just really struggling to actually critical think, which, that's not necessarily their fault. They were raised in a education system that told them trust whatever you hear. So, be easy on some of them. But we do have some trolls in here. Or I should say we did have some trolls in here. Goodbye. The trolls, man, so lame. Let me take a minute, get in the chat. I saw some super chats, so I want to make sure I respect those who gave first, and then we'll go. I'll look for some tag content, and then we'll move on to the next segment. CG with a $2 super chat says, "Can't stay long, but love your content." Thank you so much, CG, for that. I appreciate you. Little Bigfoot Overlanding with the $5 super chat earlier had, "Thanks for responding to my DM in Discord, John Q." You're welcome. Thank you for being in the Discord and for the super chat. Appreciate you. Wyatt Earp with a $5 super chat says, "Mama used to say hay's for horses, so hello everyone MAGA." Welcome, Wyatt Earp, and thank you for the super chat. Motley Crue with the $2 super chat says, "You were wide open last night with a beer. Loved it." Thank you. I had a lot of fun last night. I really did. Freenez with a $10 super chat says, "Gotten late to the show. Living in California. Power outage since last night. Pray for us. I have 3 committee meetings for Santa Barbara County. Having a tough day, but won't give up fighting." Good for you, Freenez. We need more like you. If every conservative in California stood up and actually did what Freenez is doing, California would turn red quickly. I truly believe that as someone who lived there for most of my life. White Herb with another $10 super chat says, "Fuentes from Fagapalooza is a wicked chump and would serve the young people well to get away from his negativity. Slam full of the devil. Owen same. Tucker, I'm so disappointed. Shaking my head." Completely agree with you. And another $5 one, he says, "I'd like to buy Fuentes and Owens for what they're worth, some for what they think they're worth." That'd be a good return right there. Almost like Rich Baris' return on his accidental bet on Ed Galrain. Fenderman with the $5 super chat says, "So sad. I've followed Alex Jones for 26 years. He caved into his followers instead of leading them. Same for the grifters. They sold out." Yeah, Alex has proven that he is he's agitprop. I mean, he is definitely being utilized by the deep state, by the intelligence community, which, when you actually think about the fact his family was CIA, or it makes a lot of sense. G. Evans, $5 super chat says, "New York Times, the U's are training attack dogs to grape gossans." That's right. How crazy was that? Right, Richard, the New York Times is a stellar record for telling the truth. They are insanely evil, the New York Times. And Doc No with the $2 super chat says, "Congrats on the new time slot. Perfect timing." Thank you very much. I'm really enjoying being at the new time slot. It's a lot better for my energy. And I hope it is good for you guys. So I hope most of you are enjoying me being on at noon now or morning on the West Coast. So, I can kind of be a part of the day news. Let's see here. Anybody else? Anything right now? Not really seeing much. Sebastian says, "I'm surprised how much of a retard JP Sears is. I really liked him." I liked JP as well. His early content especially was very good. But the thing with JP is I think he fell into the same sphere as so many of these other influencers. They got a following. They became big based on their content being MAGA or outside the box, which became MAGA adjacent. And then they sign contracts, they get sponsors, and those people might sway them a different direction, or, and they might become afraid of what they could lose, or they sign as part of a larger team. And that can change you completely. I mean, as of right now, all the people I think who are still on it are completely are completely independent. And Tucker, Megan, Alex, all these people, they're not independent anymore. I mean, Alex should be, but he's shown who he is. I mean, look at how he keeps his show up. He brings in total frauds like Nick Fuentes or Kyle Seraphin, and he just keeps buffing up his audience by partnering with all these people. And that, without that, Alex's show would fall apart at this point because he's not. I just think he's incapable of keeping it up on his own. Okay, let's talk about last night. So last night, Trump went 37-0 for his MAGA endorsements. Now, this is crazy, okay? You just don't do this. And this includes the Massie win, which is what most people are talking about. But that's not the most important thing that happened last night. What most importantly happened was all of this combined, all right? It was the biggest. It was the most fun. And the crash outs obviously back that up. But what Trump really showed last night is he's actually reshaping the Republican Party, and he's doing what everybody has wanted him to do, which is weed out the rhinos. Trump continues to do this despite the fact people are like so critical of him on this. Well, the elections are proving you otherwise. The people he's not going after that much right now are not up for election, like John Thune. I saw many people last night being like, well, if Trump would only go after John Thune the same way he went after Massie, what would be the point of that? Thune's still around till 28. He doesn't have his election till 28. Remember, senators are cyclical. They get every 6 years, and they're staggered. So Thune will be up in 28. Right now, Trump would gain nothing from going after Thune. He really doesn't, except for the fact that Thune could sway more votes away from what Trump wants to get done. So, guys, understanding our system, understanding our politics is very important to understanding Trump. Trump wins because he's smart. Trump wins because he understands the system and he knows how to play the game. He doesn't nothing he does is just because he's sold out. None of it's because he's flying by the seat of his pants. It's all calculated, as last night proves. But here's a little clip on last night's wins. I mean, 37-0, 10-0 Pennsylvania, 9-0 Georgia, 5-0 Idaho, 1-0 Oregon. We have obviously Kentucky, Missouri. So Seth Keshel reminds us, as he's the best election expert out there, always keeping up with the registrations nationwide. He had the absolute best content going into the 2024 election. He called everything to the T. He's just, there's no one more accurate when it comes to understanding elections than Keshel. And as he reminds us after last night, the X algorithm isn't the real world. Remember that in November. This is very important. That's what's the algorithm feeding us. We're going to get smashed in November. The Democrats are going to win a wave election. All the Massie people are going to crush the Republicans now. Not going to happen because the real world, the voters, they still love Trump. They still love him. It's just the truth, even though they're trying to convince you they don't. Kentucky, guys, was a massive one last night. So let's talk about this. It's an excellent post breaking down what happened in Kentucky last night. It says, do you understand what quietly happened in Kentucky? Mitch McConnell spent 41 years building the most powerful Republican machine in the Senate. Fact check true. He blocked nominees, killed legislation, outlasted 6 presidents, and bent the entire GOP caucus to his will for 4 decades. And the moment he stepped back, Trump walked in on May 1st, endorsed Andy Barr, offered the only real rival an ambassadorship, and the rival dropped out the same week. Cameron, the man who was supposed to carry McConnell's network forward, entered with a polling lead, raised money, had the name recognition, had a Christian conservative base. Barr had none of that until Trump made a phone call and a diplomatic offer. Cameron finished at 30 and Barr won with 60%. Seat McConnell held since 84 flipped to a Trump loyalist in a single primary night. First open Kentucky Senate seat in 42 years. Now, listen how brilliant this was. This was Trump, the art of the deal. Okay? He got exactly what he wanted, and we got out the Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, Bush wing establishment rhino Republican loyalist who was supposed to replace McConnell, and now we got a true MAGA guy instead. That, my friends, is how you actually win. And Trump proves again, that he knows better than any of these people. And this obviously wasn't talked about as much as Massie last night, but this is bigger than Massie, because ultimately Massie is one of 435 House representatives. Good luck. You can't get anything done. Massie is one of 435. He also, being in the House, there's elections every 2 years. So it's easy to clean up the House. You can clean it out real fast. So Galrain, not a great candidate, but Trump made a statement with Massie. The real Republicans, the establishment, knows this is bigger because Senate seat is for 6 years. He just crushed the rhinos. Why do you think Thune and all the old school Republicans were so mad yesterday? Well, in the same day, Trump beat the McConnell wing right here in Kentucky, took McConnell's old seat with a MAGA guy, and in the same day, he endorsed Paxton, which is going to kick Cornyn out. Two of the most rhino senators who are part of that Bush Party uniparty, old school Republican rhino wing, they're both gone now. That, my friends, is a huge win. And as we all know, the Senate, they're the kingmakers. They're the ones who really, really matter. Every single establishment figure watching this tonight told their donors McConnell network's durable. Every single one assumed the old machine had enough infrastructure to survive his retirement. It didn't survive a single election cycle. Not a scandal, Democrat generational shift, one endorsement, one ambassadorship, 41 years of political infrastructure collapsed in an evening. Trump didn't just win a primary tonight. He erased the last internal friction point inside the Senate Republican caucus without a single floor vote. It's only getting quieter from here. After the midterms, guys, Trump is going to have a much more MAGA Senate, and that's what they're terrified of. They were hoping they could wait Trump out, he leaves, and come 2028, they could retake the party. Trump is just crushing their hopes more and more every day. We're not going back to the uniparty Republican Party. We're not going back to the Rhino Party. It's MAGA now. And what he just did yesterday was shoot across the bow. Like, you guys have no hope. You guys have no hope to get it back. Last night in Georgia, both Supreme Court justices won against Democrats. We had this huge wins right here. They sweep and win the Supreme Court elections. These were not primaries. These were actual elections, and the Republicans won both, so that's huge for Georgia. And as reported here, there's much to unpack from Georgia primaries. I can't get over how much the Trump dynamic has changed. 4 years ago, Trump's handpicked challengers were crushed by Brian Kemp and other Republicans he targeted after 2020. This time, every major GOP contender ran toward Trump, not away from him. And Seth Keshel writes, almost like the 34% approval polls are, just like all polls, wrong. So, guys, you don't trust the polls. They're trying to psyop everybody into believing the Democrats are going to win. South Carolina yesterday finally voted. The House passed the new map. Bye-bye, Jim Clyburn. This will now go to the South Carolina Senate, where it should be passed, and then the governor's going to have to sign it because there's no way he could do this to his base. So Jim Clyburn, one of the most powerful Democrats in the House, is about to go bye-bye. That's going to be beautiful. So much winning yesterday. As Razorfist writes, remember, guys, Massie lost because only boomers vote in midterms, but Republicans are going to lose in November because ... only boomers vote in midterms. Might see variance once you wedge your dome and your duodenum. The logic clears right up, I assure you. That's what they keep telling us. We're going to lose in the midterms. Even though the boomers just showed us, they're going to carry it forward. That's what they do. That's what we do. Doherty says, the midterm genius strategist Blair. Let's listen to this clip. This guy is he's so good at all this. He's the one who's been putting all this together. Sorry, I was having trouble pausing it. Let me restart here. Anyways, this guy is an election genius. Every race he's put himself into, they're winning. This guy understands what's coming. And listen to what he has to say here about the midterms. This is not as hopeless as they want you to think.
I think they recognize what we've been saying, which it's a very close race for the House. We feel like we have a great opportunity to retain the House and maybe even expand it in some areas. We're going to be playing across a wide swath of the map, not just defending our own incumbents, but playing offense against a lot of their members. And I don't know that they were prepared for that. Obviously, as President Trump, mentioned in his comments in his live press conference a few minutes ago, he knows how to win. We know how to win. We've done this before. And, if we were listening to the conventional wisdom in May of 2024, President Trump would not be sitting in office right now. So we feel the same way now. We know what our task is. We've got about 5 months or so to do it, and we're going to get the job done.
Okay, so Massie.
Do you hear what he said? He said they're going on offense, and that's how you win. You go on offense. You don't have to play defense. They're going to try to take more out. It's going to be a gain. Now, of all the people you guys watch or out there, I got to say, I've probably been one of the most bullish on the midterms, and I continue to be so. I think the map is very strong for us. I don't believe the polls. I think there's so much that's going to happen before the midterms that's going to be very, very good for Trump and the MAGA base. And Democrats, everybody still hates them. And on top of this, we have this guy continually showing us that they're winning. I mean, these primaries matter. They matter. In some ways, they matter more than ever before. Or maybe they matter the same way they always have, and we're just finally paying attention. That might be part of it as well. But the fact is that Trump is cleaning house. And again, I want to go back to the fact of all the people dooming that Trump is just hanging out with rhinos, or we got to get rid of these rhinos. This is exactly what Trump's doing. He's just not doing it the way you guys thought he should do it. He's not doing it as obvious as everybody thinks. And then in the middle time, when he's stuck with them, he works with them because he has to. It's the only way to get stuff done in our system. Trump understands this better than you guys do. And I don't mean everybody in my chat. I mean the people who have just been dooming about all this rhino stuff. Trump understands it better. And I continue to say, look, he is the most successful president we've had in decades. And that's just not even like debatable. He won two general elections against machines with way more money on their side. In the first election especially, he even had Republicans against him, the entire establishment against him. And he won both elections in sweeps. He won the House and the Senate in both elections too. Guys, that just doesn't happen in our modern politics. Trump has changed the game. Now he's coming up on his second midterms. His first midterms, he lost the House, but kept the Senate. In fact, gained in the Senate. And one of the reasons he lost the House is because he didn't have the Republican machine yet. He hadn't taken over the RNC yet. But now MAGA is the Republican Party. And he's proving it in these primaries in a major way. Now, McCarthy, who I'm not a fan of, had something really interesting to say about Trump today, and I wanted to share this because it's really good.
Have up on the board for you the candidates that he has backed and those that have won, and it looks, to be like he is running the tables on this one. How do you score things for him and then overall for the midterms?
Well, the one thing I see is that he's the strongest president in a political party that I've seen in my entire lifetime. It's unheard of that you have a president even stronger than Ronald Reagan was.
Yep.
You look at his ability. He endorses people and they win.
By the way, that statement right there, it's true, and it drives the establishment Republican wing insane. Reagan was their god. He was the one they used constantly to sway the conservative vote, and the fact that Trump has not only just taken that over, but utilized that power that Reagan could have had so much better drives them crazy.
He has defeated people even by just not endorsing them. You haven't seen this ability before. And just if you take the Republican Party in the last month, the number of victories that he had, you could take all those people that he endorsed. But also when you look at the Virginia Supreme Court, pulling back from where the Democrats want to do gerrymander, from the U.S. Supreme Court decision on minority-majority districts, the Republicans, to keep the House, are in a fundamentally different place than they were a month ago.
Yep.
A month ago, no one gave them an opportunity. Democrats would only have to win 3 seats. They now are going to have to win 10 seats. That is a gigantic shift in such a short amount of time. And then if you look at the resources that the president has raised, we've never seen this imbalance between Republicans and Democrats, 800 million to 200 million.
Do you hear those numbers? That war chest Trump has built, 800 million versus 200 million. That's insane. So guys, if money wins elections, well, the Republicans should win easily. Why is nobody saying that? Because it's not true. Money doesn't win elections. But what money does do is it amplifies your ability to win elections. It helps. And Trump, with the MAGA people, has constantly won being outspent. Constantly. Over and over and over again. Now, with Trump in power, understanding how this all works now, having the base stronger than ever, he's been able to, the first time, this will be the first election with Trump where they have the more money. And I guarantee you they'll have even more for the presidential election in 28. So you already have the underdogs who keep winning despite the fact they're at the money disadvantage, and now they have the money disadvantage too. I mean, the money advantage too. Just wait and see what that does. It's going to, the Democrats are terrified, and they don't want you to know it because they have to pretend for their base that they're going to win this. But they're terrified. This is going to be much different than most people are expecting. And as Trump himself tells us,
every one of them. And we have a great candidate, I believe, in Texas. And I believe the Texas candidate, who's Ken Paxton, I think he'll win. I think probably he'll win very substantially. And I think he'll go on to defeat a very defective candidate, a candidate that believes in 6 genders, and he takes hits at Jesus Christ, and he's wearing a mask 6 months ago, whereas anybody wearing a mask 6 months ago doesn't get it. And he's a vegan. He's a vegan in Texas, and you can't get elected as a vegan in Texas.
Did you talk to Senate leadership on the Republican?
Every one of them.
Does Trump seem worried about going against these Democrats? I really don't think so. Here's more.
I did. They'll be all right with it. They want to win. I know how to win. Some of them don't know how to win. I know how to win. I think I've proven that, haven't I?
Flopping the nuts. They don't know how to win. I know how to win. And that's what we got to keep coming back to, guys, is that Trump ultimately knows how to win more than any of these other people. The influencer crowd, the Massie tards, they don't know how to win. They're losers. They're all pathetic losers, and they're never going to win anything. They like to grandstand like they will, like they matter. We just found out last night they don't matter at all. They're all losers. Massie's a total fraud. Like, the whole group is a total fraud. The Democrats are disgusting and crazy people. Like, the only person who's been able to beat this machine, this City of London globalist Davos machine that does own the Republican Party, that does own people like Thomas Massie, that does own the Democrats, he's the only one who's been able to beat them, and he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. And he just proves it. And amidst all this, with all that primary winning, now he's going back after the Senate. And he posted this today. He says, shockingly, Republicans kept the very important position of parliamentarian in the hands of a woman, Elizabeth McDonough, who was appointed long ago by Barack Hussein Obama and a vicious lunatic as Senator Harry Reid, who ran the Senate for the Democrats with an iron fist. Over years, she's been brutal to Republicans, but not to the Democrats. Why has she not been replaced? Good question. Because they don't want her to be. It's an excuse to not get stuff done. This is the uniparty still in action, thanks to John Thune. There are many fair people who be qualified for that job. Republicans play a very soft game compared to the Democrats, the single biggest disadvantage of politics. Democrats cheat, lie, and steal when it comes to votes and elections, but stick together. But the Republicans allow the McDonald's of the world to stay in power and brutalize us. We need the Save America Act passed. Here it is, the pressure again. And now, likewise, kill the filibuster. Give us everything. We don't pass at least one of these two provisions quickly, you'll never see another Republican president again. Democrats will end up with 2 additional states, D.C., Puerto Rico, and all that entails, including 4 senators, many congressmen, many additional electoral votes, and they'll get their dream of a packed U.S. Supreme Court with their favorite number, 21 justices. They'll do this on day one. Trump is using the primary pressure where he just won so significantly to put them all on watch. You guys saw what I did last night. I beat the most popular guy ever, and Massie destroyed him. Took out the frauds in Kentucky, McConnell's old stomping ground, replaced the McConnell seat, cleaned up in Georgia. All these are big establishment rhino strongholds, and Trump just cleaned up last night. They're all on blast. Endorsed Ken Paxton, going to get rid of Cornyn. So Trump's doing it, guys. He's completely remaking the Republican Party. He's getting out all the frauds, and now he's reminding them, look at, do you guys want to keep playing games? Do you guys want to keep doing this? Because I'll keep winning. The base is on my side, and I'm going to destroy you. And, guys, for the midterms, I'm feeling better about them every day. All right. If you guys are enjoying this, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're going to go to Iran next and talk about the latest on that. But let me get into the chat for a second, see what's going on in there. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Looks like we have some Massie heads. All right. Let's see here. Oh, my God. These people, they don't know what they're talking about. Hey, Galen Moyo, Massie's opponent did not get $32 million in pro-AIPAC funding. He got $18 million total funding versus Massie's 13-point-something funding, and it added up to $32 million. You people don't have any idea what you're talking about. You just listen to influencers, and it's just insane. Massie is a total fraud, and anybody who still believes the psyop that Massie was not a fraud, I mean, you guys just don't understand politics at all, or you only listen to retards like Nick Fuentes who are just using you because, they can, because you're not actually doing your own research. Because, sorry, everybody who's Massie, Israel, it's absolutely retarded. It's tired. And you know what? You're just going to keep losing. You're going to keep losing. So you know what? Instead of crying about it, you should figure out how to win. Oh, Trump didn't fulfill his promises. Are you retarded? Tax cuts, all done. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, border closed, border wall will be finished next year. That's 5 promises right there already seen. Regulations going bye-bye. He passed 10-1. They're down 29-1. Every new regulation, 29 gone. Boom. That's a promise fulfilled. How about the ramp up on all the fraud, on SPLC getting busted? We're seeing arrests. Promise fulfilled. I don't know about you guys. I'm a huge Trump guy, and he's fulfilled every single one of his promises he could so far, and I'm seeing him try to fulfill every single other one of them. So anybody who says Trump broke his promises, it's the most retarded, stupid thing you could ever say, and there's literally no truth to it whatsoever. It's just so stupid. I'm sorry, you guys. You're stupid. You're stupid. I just don't understand it. So stupid. Dwight Schrute, you're right. You're just as bad. More Israel. You guys are retarded. Yeah, because Galen, inflation has to do with Trump. So how about the economy? Okay, let's talk about the economy. Manufacturing, way up. Okay, unemployment's held while he's deporting over 3 million illegals already gone. The deportations are ramping up, and despite what X will tell you, they are ramping up. The facts are behind it. And the economy, the only reason prices are high right now is it's a temporary because gas. Guess what? Gas went down when Trump first got in, and they'll go down again as soon as Iran's over, which it'll be over soon. So more inflation. Inflation was down, according to True Inflation, down to 1% until gas happened. And guess what? That's not inflation. That's prices rising. Do you know what actually causes inflation? Inflation is caused by printing money, which Trump has not done. Trump has not done. So, oh my God, there's so many retards in here. Get out, Vandu Gangs. You're just a troll. You're a troll. At least the other guys are actually talking. So, fake promises. What lame promises? All right, Dwight, you're retarded. You're gone. You guys need to actually like bring something. Employment contracted by 3.1% in July. What, last year? So you're going to tell me last year? You know why it contracted, dude? Do you understand why it contracted? You know, hey, here's another promise he fulfilled. The federal government employment is at its lowest level since 1962. Promise fulfilled. Over 300,000 federal government employees gone. Promise fulfilled. Okay. Unemployment's at 4.3%, not 3.1%, like you just said. And you know why it contracted? It's because the illegals are gone. Do you understand that? Do you understand that Biden kept it inflated by hiring people federally and using federal dollars through healthcare to hire them? Those are the only full-time jobs that Biden grew in 4 years. And so Trump is correcting that. So naturally there's going to be a little bit of a shock for a bit. Come on. I mean, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. What about the Epstein files? Let me tell you something about the Epstein files. First of all, they vindicated Trump. They made Democrats look terrible. Thomas Massie, your hero, the guy you want to get in bed with, that guy has access to every single one of those files. Every single one of them. Unredacted. He can go anytime and he can take them to the House floor, which if you go to the Capitol floor, you can speak and you cannot be sued. You cannot be liable because you're a House representative. So if Thomas Massie had names, if there was anything in the Epstein files, he could read them, bring them to the floor and say, Donald Trump, you didn't release this, so I'm going to. And he could do all of them. Every single thing. He could release it all. And nobody could stop him. In fact, every single House and Senate member could do the exact same thing because they have access to all of them. And you know what? They're not doing it. Why? Because you were lied to. There is no smoking gun in the Epstein files. There was a lot of dirty, weird stuff in there. And it made Democrats look terrible. It made Steve Bannon look terrible. And but Massie's a total fraud. He said he had 20 names. He never released any of those names. He did finally release 4 names. And they were innocents. They were guys who were in a lineup who happened to be in the Epstein files. So the Epstein files were total fraudulent, at least the way they were used. And guess what? Trump released them. You know why? Because Massie is one guy in 435 votes in the House. And if the House passes something, which it wasn't going to, even with Massie pushing for it, it still would have had to pass the Senate. And in the Senate, you need 60 votes to break the filibuster, which it never was going to do with 53 Republicans. And then Trump would have to sign it. So if Trump wanted to block it, he could have said, nah, even if it passed the Senate, he would have said, nah, veto. I want to hide it. And then they would have gone back to the Senate and they would have had to have 66 votes to overturn the veto. Okay. So guess who released the files, bro? Trump did. Because Trump came out on Truth Social in November and was like, you know what, guys, stop playing games. Let's release all the files. And the House voted for it, except for one person, 434-1. The Senate passed it 99-0, and Trump signed it the next day. So Trump is the reason the files got released. And guess what, bud? 3.5 million files got released. No, it's not 20%. That's retarded. You're believing nonsense on the internet. You're believing the BS on the internet. The only stuff not released was the videos and pictures of the girls getting violated, their faces, the actual stuff, and then the redactions, which, like I said, if there was any smoking gun in the redactions, any Senate member could come forward and release them. Dude, you're believing lies, BS on the internet. You should actually do the real research and do the real sources instead of listening to Nick Fuentes or Dave Smith or Tucker Carlson. These total frauds. Yeah, most of the Democrats voted for the files because they got stuck. They never thought it would pass the Senate. They already all signed off on it. And you know who it made look the worst? Democrats. That's why they keep pretending there's more files to come, because they want to deflect from the fact that Barack Obama's entire administration was chosen by Epstein. They want to deflect from that. The influencers want to deflect from it because them, like Steve Bannon, was completely buddies with Epstein. It's all deflection, dude. You should actually do the research. Reuters is a fraud, and so is the BBC. Those are both complete deep. Dude, Reuters is run by, it was run by CIA. Who knows who runs it now? And BBC is MI6. It's completely controlled by MI6. You're telling me you trust the mainstream media? Now that's the funniest thing I've seen yet. No wonder you have no idea what you're talking about. That's hilarious, dude. Dude, they have for 4 years with Biden, never said a word of it. Massie never mentioned it once under the Biden years until Trump came back on the scene. Do the math, man. Do the math. I can't believe you just threw Reuters and BBC at me as a source. That's hilarious. Come on, man. Listen, you can come over to the right side. You can wake up. It's time you woke up. It's time you actually got real information, okay? It's time you actually learned something. It's time you stopped listening to the retards. You're probably not retarded. You just listen to retards. Have all the files been released, yes or no? I just told you. I'm not repeating myself because you want to play stupid games. Okay? I just said I just gave you the whole breakdown. Okay? So I'm not playing your stupid game. This isn't a Senate deposition so you can get your, listen, man. Why don't you start waking up? Okay? How about you start waking up and actually do the research? I tell you what, you want to learn something? Go to my playlist that's called Epstein Files and go watch the hundreds of hours I've done on them. And then, I did answer the question. I'm not playing your stupid game, dude. Don't be a retard. I answered your freaking question. Okay? You can go rewind and listen to the answer. I'm not playing your game. Oh my God. People like this are absolute jokes. Hey, Galen, if you really are a conservative who cares, you'll actually go learn something instead of BBC and Reuters. Oh, the BBC and Reuters told me that the Epstein files haven't been released. Yeah. Okay, buddy. I'm so glad you trust them. That they've never been wrong about anything, huh? David123 with the $10 super chat says Trump might pull off having a half decent economy in terms of gas prices and groceries for America 250 without crashing the stock market. That's amazing. Not only he will. I'm telling you, by the end of this year, heading into next year, the economy is going to be roaring. It's going to be roaring. It's going to be awesome. Let's see here. Let's see. Roy Boy thinks morons think government copies of the files are all new files. They seriously are stupid. That's why I chalk them up woke trash on the left. I mean, that's a big part of it. Absolutely. Sambo asked me, Ace, how would any of us know if they're all released? We don't work in any intel agency. You know what? You're 100% right on that. Do I think everything about Epstein's out there? No. But do I think that the Trump administration has released everything they thought was relevant to release that they have? I do. Yeah. I do believe they held to the law. And listen, this is why. All right. I actually have a reason, not just because I like Trump. Here's the reason. Okay. The reason is that Trump abides by the law every single time something happens to him, including when stupid woke judges slap down what they're trying to do in completely partisan decisions that make no sense. And Trump abides by those decisions until it goes to the Supreme Court and they overturn it. So Trump always follows the law. Why? Because he knows that if he doesn't, they will come after him. They will use it against him. Trump has to follow the law. So Trump's record of 10 years and 2 terms has shown me that he always follows the law every single time, even when we don't want him to. So will Trump follow the law about releasing the files? Yes. Did they? I mean, Todd Blanche has said they've fulfilled every obligation. And you know what? Thomas Massie has had zero evidence they haven't. All he has is talking points. If Thomas Massie really has the receipts, if Thomas Massie really has it, he would come out on the floor and he would reveal it. But he doesn't because there's nothing. They don't have it. Now, is there probably stuff out there about Epstein in this class that hasn't been released yet that's probably tucked away somewhere that isn't included in that? Well, certainly there is. We've had some judges block release from their cases, which the DOJ tried to get, and the judges blocked them. This happened in at least 3 different occasions. So there are files that the DOJ doesn't even have. That's a fact. Okay. And I know all this stuff. I've done it. I've covered it. All right. I've long said if there was anything going on with Trump in the Epstein files, that would have been the end for me. But instead, the Epstein files showed that Trump was the only one out of the entire class that tried to take Epstein down. So that's a fact, my friend. That is an absolute fact. And Galen, dude, we're not strawmanning anything. How did I strawman anything? I gave you direct answers to your questions. And the fact is, you admitted it yourself. BBC gets some things wrong, but then you said we shouldn't invalidate them as a source. Why? Why should I not invalidate something as a source when they have used time and time again their reporting, quote unquote, to try to delegitimize the greatest movement in modern world history to retake and bring sovereignty and greatness back to our nations? Why? Why should I trust them for anything? The BBC's ridiculous source, and you should never use it. Now, if they say something that you've validated somewhere else, that's fine. But go to the good source instead and bring me that. There's plenty of sources I trust, not the BBC, and I never will. So don't use it against, you can't use it. You can't use it. BBC is absolute propaganda. It's not even full of propaganda, Nikki, which you're right, but it actually just is propaganda. Okay? So, listen, I know it sucks, Galen, to have your whole worldview blown up, but it's just true. You can't trust this stuff. You can't. And Reuters is one of the worst sources in America. Absolutely. Galen says Fox News shouldn't be used as a source. Well, okay, Galen. First of all, did you say you voted for Trump? Dude, you sound like the most lefty, libertarian tart I've ever heard. Fox, do you ever see me going to Fox by itself as a source? No, but there's a couple people I trust on Fox. I trust Jesse Waters, and I trust what's his face, Gutfeld. Okay, but there's a lot of people I don't trust on Fox. In fact, most of them. But I trust certain sources. So if you had some great reporter like Catherine Herridge, if she wrote something in BBC and you wanted to be like, Catherine Herridge wrote this and it's in the BBC, I'd be like, okay, I'll listen. But don't just quote the BBC. I mean, I'll never quote Fox News at somebody else. Fenderman with the $5 donation says, Democrat Marine Galindo running for Congress in Texas pledges to send American Zionists internment camps on Gateway Pond. That's a crazy story. That is a crazy story. All right, guys, we got to move on. We got to move on here. All right. So, okay. Iran matters, right? Iran, and let me back up a second here. This Iran thing is getting to a head. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe me or not, it just is. Trump's done. And he knows that time's running out for the midterms. He's got a couple months left, but Trump doesn't want to play that game. He's not going to let it keep going. We've been seeing the ramp up in rhetoric. We've been seeing the actual militarization build up around Iran. So we know they're plotting moves here. So the latest on this is that the U.S. is currently carrying out a massive wave of preparations for resumption against Iran, with U.S. refuelers now parked in Israel. America and Israel on high alert, ready to blast mullahs to smithereens. The IRGC is lashing out, vowing crushing blows. The abyss of destruction. 47 takes action. Now, this is hilarious to me because what have we heard the entire time with Iran? Oh, they got the super duper secret hypersonic missiles they're going to launch. There's going to be, they're going to show us what's up once it's finally time. Again, they don't have anything. They got the Timu missiles from China. But 47, Trump is reloaded, ready to go, and the gaps are still there in the negotiations. But Trump has now given them to the beginning of next week, and currently, Pakistan's now hinting at a final draft peace agreement. So this should be released today. We'll see if it's anything, if it's even worth the paper it's written on, which I highly doubt it will be. But we're there, guys. Trump's just not going to
playing across a wide swath of the map, not just defending our own incumbents, but playing offense against.
Oh, I got a clip playing. Sorry, guys, I got to track it down.
Obviously, as President Trump, mentioned.
Why did that just start playing out of nowhere? That's weird. Sorry. Okay. But what was I saying? Okay. The peace deal is probably not going to be worth anything. All right. It's not going to be worth anything, and Trump's going to deny it. And that means, to me, I think we're going to start seeing the bombing next week. Now, what Trump did the other day when he said we were about to bomb, and then Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE all came to me and asked me to wait, he's put all that out so that they can't be attacked now because they're seen as wanting peace. So now if Iran attacks any of them, it gives us a whole open door to just go full ham on them. And nobody can say otherwise because peace has been trying to be achieved and Iran reached out against it. So Trump is closing the walls around Iran. And again, I've said this many times, I think there's going to be something very favorable coming out of this. Now, here's something very interesting Trump said today about Israel and Iran and Netanyahu. Listen to this.
What have you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long to hold off on strikes?
He's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's very, very good man. He'll do whatever I want him to do, and he's a great guy. To me, he's a great guy. Don't forget, he was a wartime prime.
Did you hear what he said there? That first part?
What have you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long to hold off on strikes?
He's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do.
Netanyahu will do anything I want him to do. Guys, that's a huge statement right there. A huge statement. For everybody who thinks Trump's more controlled by Israel. Dude, the evidence has been so overwhelming, okay? Even you could go back to the first term. But even just in this term, you can go back to last summer when Israel wanted to continue the war against Iran. Trump called them out, said they don't know what the F they're doing. And then he told Israel, we're ending it. You can go to Gaza, where Netanyahu thought he was finally going to take over Gaza and make it a piece of Israel again. What happened? Trump said, no, stop. And they stopped. He negotiated the peace. Look at Lebanon. Israel's bombing Lebanon, taking out Hezbollah. Lebanon's getting pissed about it because they're hitting some civilians. Trump goes over and says, I'm putting you guys together, ceasefire. Trump over and over and over again has proven that Israel doesn't control them at all. In fact, quite the opposite. And now Trump just said it. So we see the evidence, and now we see what he's saying. And again, it's just a slap in the face to the Israel tards. Now, having said all this, Trump has Israel on standby because the Israelis are itching to take out the Iranian leadership. They are ready. They want to blow to hell the IRGC, which, I'm not against that either. I would love to see that myself. But he's got them ready. And I have a feeling that if this one doesn't go down, this last time Trump's given it. Now, he does keep extending it, and I got to be honest with you guys. This is one thing that I have not been able to that I've not been able to figure out is why Trump keeps extending it. The only thing I can come to is the conclusion that Trump really, really wants to end this peacefully. And that would go completely with everything we know about Trump going back to the first term. That he only uses the military muscle when he absolutely feels he has to. And Trump, and I think this is a great thing about Trump, honestly. I think this is one of his best attributes. So while some of us are itching to see them blow up, and I would love to see the IRGC just blown to smithereens once and for all. I would love to see. I don't want civilians killed, but I want to see the leadership of Iran just destroyed, obliterated once and for all. But I'm not Trump, and I don't have to make that decision. So he's holding off, but I have a feeling, guys, that this will be the last straw. And if they deliver this and make a mockery of Trump again, well, and the other thing I'll say real quick is Trump absolutely keeps proving that he does not fire from the hip, that he is a well thought out, methodical decision maker when it comes to strategy, because the Iranians have been taunting him. They've been mocking him with these ridiculous peace deals, and Trump keeps holding back. He's showing great restraint. And now, but it's coming to the end of it. It's coming to the end, and should. Now, with what's going on in Iran coming to an end, this is very interesting. Okay, so the DOJ announced indictment against former Cuban leader Raul Castro 1 p.m. today. Castro is expected to be charged with murder 30 years after he directed Cuban fighter jets to shoot down civilian planes carrying Americans over international waters. Why is this so interesting? Well, when we went into Venezuela, what did Trump use as his excuse? He didn't say it was Trump didn't say it was a military operation. He said it was a legal operation, that Maduro was found guilty here of crimes, and so we went and got him. So what are they doing right now? They're setting up the legal ramifications so that they can go get Castro out of Cuba and end Cuba just like they ended Venezuela. That's what I see right here, because the timing on this is incredibly suspect, but in the best way. We want to see this go down because Cuba becoming an ally would be absolutely incredible. And then Trump came out and said, we won't rest until the people of Cuba once again have freedom. I think we're going to solve Cuba here in just a couple weeks, and we're going to finish it. And it's just going to be like Venezuela all over again, except even a bigger deal because Cuba is so close to our border and we have so many Cubans here. This is going to be a massive win, and it goes to continue the whole Don Roe doctrine of getting the Western Hemisphere, all the other stuff out of it. So that's American only in our hemisphere, no other outside enemies. Now this, I know this is weird. I have this in the foreign policy section, but listen to this. This just is more proof the Iran war is actually reshaping the world in very good ways. And for us, it's already made us the number one world oil exporter. It's made people come to us. It's building up right now. The LNG, natural gas, we're the number one in the world for exporting that by more than double the next two nations combined. This is how you bring prosperity and sovereignty back to the nation. Trump is making us stronger on our own than ever before. And one of the things that this revealed was our dependency on other fertilizer. Well, Brooke Rollins came out today and in this post says, gave China the middle finger, announced 3 quick historic actions to restart and expand U.S. fertilizer manufacturing. So he's going to fast track Blue Point ammonia in Louisiana, the world's largest project for this. Fix slow-moving fertilizer expansion program from previous administration where they only finished 8 of 121 projects. You wonder why. They were laundering that money. Add a dedicated economist to track fertilizer prices and supply for better transparency. These steps are expected to add about 4.5 million tons of domestic fertilizer production per year and create thousands of jobs. Currently, we import a significant portion of our fertilizer. Global price spikes and supply disruptions can add thousands of dollars per acre. This is going to cut them off, guys. So again, Trump just keeps making more and more moves that are giving us our sovereignty back, where we can absolutely just produce like crazy, bring jobs, make our economy thrive. This is why, just another reason why, and guys, a couple years our economy is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen in our lifetimes. Because in our entire lives, unless you're 100 years old, we have been relying upon all these other countries for the stuff that we had here. And now Trump is changing all of that. He's changing all of that and making us self-sufficient, but not just self-sufficient, thriving. And finally, look at this. Putin went to meet Xi today. just 1 week after Trump. This plays into that whole arc scenario, America, Russia, China, where Trump is rebuilding the world order, and there's 3 superpowers on the earth. Technically 1, but we'll give China and Russia a little leeway. 3 powers that matter on the earth, let me put it that way. And all of a sudden we're making deals with each other to get along, to leave each other alone, as long as we're not messing stuff up, as long as we're not getting crazy. And this is just going to change everything. And they announced out of this meeting today, Russia considers launching joint projects with the U.S. and China. This is massive. This is so game-changing. So, again, this is how we push out Europe, which has been the biggest just like parasite in American, like to our modern society. That it's because of us funding the European lifestyle so they didn't have to spend money on military. So they could use our financial stuff, process it all through City of London. We were on LIBOR, which has meant all of our stuff was going through there. Now we're on SOFR, so that at least the financial stuff's starting to come home. We're cutting off all the free trade so that the tariffs, because they were tariffing us and now we're just tariffing them back. Trump is rebuilding the world order economically and politically. And Europe's going to be the one that suffers the most, because Europe's going to actually have to stand on their own 2 feet for once, for the first time in since World War II, since before World War II. It's beautiful. And all the lies, all the psyops we've been told about these countries, not saying Russia's a great country, well, I think it's a great country. Not saying Putin's a great guy. Not saying communism is great, because it's awful. But this idea that these countries were looking to take over the world or destroy the world is absolute nonsense, and we're learning that. And Trump is showing us that diplomacy, oh, look at that, diplomacy and interconnectedness through trade is one of the great ways to bring peace to the earth. And by opening up all this, guys, and putting the 3 main players in the world together, it's just going to stabilize everything. It's going to bring the temperatures down, stabilize everything, and it's going to make places like Europe stand on their own 2 feet, which they're going to hate, or India. India's going to have to stay on its own 2 feet. They're going to hate it, but it's good medicine, and it's going to be very good for us and for the world at large over time. So very excited to see how this goes. And Iran, again, was the key to all this. Because Iran broke up the whole City of London's cabal on shipping and oil price manipulation. It cut off China from their cheap wholesale oil. It's forcing OPEC to fall apart. It's forcing the Middle Eastern countries to divert other ways than the Strait of Hormuz, create other pipelines. It's removing Iran's ability to be used as a proxy to destabilize that region and all that stuff. And Trump it was just a genius move. And again, we're going to look back someday and look at this as one of the greatest military moves ever made, because of how quick and efficient it was, how little loss of life there was, and how it completely, just by unlocking Iran, completely changed the world order in a way that's much better. So good news on all that, guys. And it's coming. And I think it's coming soon. I think we're going to start seeing the end of this very soon. I really do. All right, guys, if you could take a minute, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I have one last little small segment I'm going to get to in a minute, but first I'm going to visit the chat. I see a super chat from David123. He says $10 and says, if Trump pulls this trifecta, I could see North Korea maybe opening up for the first time since the war. It's possible. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Trump. Now, North Korea is crazy, so that one would be surprising. But again, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see here. Peter says, topic got me here. Tom Luongo fan. Rich says, politics, like these topics. Love asking good faith questions. Awesome, Peter. Well, thank you for watching. And Luongo is the man on this stuff. He is so good. And highly recommend everybody listen to him as well. Dangerous says, DeSantis should be the next. No, DeSantis is. No, he's never going to be president. Nice try. DeSantis betrayed Trump. He sided with the Bush wing of the party, thinking that he was going to beat Trump in the primaries. He got absolutely trounced. MAGA will never trust him again, and DeSantis won't be president. It's not going to happen. DeSantis showed he can't be trusted. And that's as saying, like, he is the best governor in America. He's great, but he's not somebody we can trust. He let the other Republicans move him too easy. Peter says Trump's looking for election theft in Cuba. He might be, just like in Venezuela. 100%. Let's see. Mangus says, notice nobody except Europe and American liberals have a problem with Trump's foreign policy. Not China, Russia, Gulf states. Ask yourself why not people. Excellent point. Why? Ask yourself why. Well, because Europe and the Eurozone, EU, is completely run by the globalist Davos crowd, which is run by City of London. And who are the Democrats run by and the Rhino Republicans run by? City of London. So you have those, you have Europe, you have the American libs and rhinos, and you have Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, the Commonwealth. Those are all the places that hate Trump the most. Do the math. Do the math. And you're exactly right on that. Well, Great comment. Great comment. Rocco says, did Charlie have a huge hand in ending Iran last year? Trump was influenced by No, 100% wrong. Trump was not influenced by Charlie. Charlie was influenced by Trump. That's a huge psyop pushed on you by the influencers. Charlie loved Trump and trusted him no matter what Trump did. And he would say stuff he didn't necessarily agree with, but then he'd see it happen and he'd say, I trust Trump. That's exactly what he said with Iran last year. Trump bombed Iran and then ended it. And he told Israel to cut it off. That was all Trump, had nothing to do with Charlie. So this whole lie that Charlie Kirk would have somehow stopped Trump in Iran is just nonsense. Charlie trusted Trump more than anything else. Charlie wasn't holding Trump back. This is one of the great lies. Charlie was holding the phagosphere back. He was holding back the crazy stuff from Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens. Charlie was holding them back because Charlie did the work. Charlie was best friends with JD Vance and Don Jr. Donald Trump thought of Charlie like a son. Charlie was the guy MAGA trusted the most. So if any of these America First grifter types like Dave Smith, if any of them said anything retarded to try to divide MAGA like they've been doing, Charlie would have put an end to it immediately and everybody would have trusted Charlie. With Charlie gone, what's the first thing they do? Candace Owens tries to destroy his life work with TPUSA. Number one. Next thing, Trump attacks Iran. They all turn on Trump. All of them. Charlie never would have done that. Never. They just have no idea what they're talking about. This is all lies. And it's disgusting because they're using Charlie Kirk in his death as some tool against Trump, where Charlie loved and trusted Trump more than anybody. So I just hate that nonsense. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Let's see. I do think DeSantis got a lot better, but Trump will never let him be in charge of the Republican Party. Never. It's going to be Vance, guys. It's going to be Vance, and then it might be Rubio if Vance decides not to run. But they won't go against each other, and it's Vance's to lose. Vance has the whole thing behind him, okay? He's got the whole power behind him. All the money. He's VP, so he's next in line. It's all set up for Vance. People were like, a week ago, I got somebody like, well, why did he send Rubio out to the press thing? It's clear he wants Rubio to be number one. Well, what did he just do? Vance was there yesterday. So, no, it's never going to be DeSantis. It's going to be Vance, and Vance is going to be amazing. And one of the reasons they want to get rid of Vance is because they're terrified of him, and that's why they keep the psyop going that Vance is some technocrat controlled by Peter Thiel. It's a psyop. It's a lie. And anybody who believes it is believing Whitney Webb's trust me, bro, nonsense reporting that has no evidence to it whatsoever. God doesn't want it. Dude, come on, Dangerous. That's the stupidest thing you ever could have said to me. I am a Christian. God told me Trump's going to be president. God told me that he led me to believe JD Vance would be the best VP, who I called out last March because he should be. So if you want, I don't say God wants JD Vance to be president because God hasn't told me that. But I can tell you right now that if you think God doesn't, it's because God doesn't want it, that's retarded. That's absolutely retarded. There's nothing against JD Vance that God wants to avoid. That's so stupid. Come on, man. Bring me something real. I can see you're a member and I appreciate you and all that stuff, but don't say that God doesn't want Vance thing. That's retarded. That's super stupid. I mean, who did you get that from? Did you get that from somebody like Brandon Biggs? That guy's a fraud. That guy's a total fraud. Your boy says president's a lot different than governor. Even then, DeSantis was swayed. How's he going to make the maniacs attacking him if never Trumpers already compromised him? 100%. I don't trust DeSantis be in charge. I would trust DeSantis as a Supreme Court justice. I would trust DeSantis as attorney general. There's a lot. I'm like, cool. Let's let DeSantis in. I would never trust DeSantis as president. He broke my trust forever. And so that just wouldn't happen. I mean, if I had to choose between DeSantis and Kamala Harris, yeah, I'd vote for DeSantis. That's ridiculous. But, well, I don't think Troy Black's right. I've watched a lot of Troy Black stuff. Troy Black, he's a nice guy, but dude, that's stupid. I'm sorry. Troy Black has no idea what he's talking about. Vance is going to be great. And why would you trust a prophet over that anyways? So you just trust everything Troy Black says? You don't trust your own discernment? Because I'll tell you what, I have the Holy Spirit, and I think God loves JD Vance. I think Vance would be a wonderful president. So, here's the thing with prophecy online, okay? And I'm not even saying Troy Black's a bad dude. He could just be somebody who's saying something he shouldn't say. But, when you get into prophesying presidents and stuff like that, you better be very careful and absolutely know 100% you're on it, because we've seen this happen so many times and not be right. We've seen it happen too, like the Kim Clement stuff with Trump. But Kim Clement wasn't out there being like, Donald Trump. No, he told us what God's plan was, and we could see that it's Trump. And that's different. So, but saying listen, dude, I'm sorry. You're going to bet me it's going to be DeSantis? I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. It's not going to be DeSantis. I'll bet you $100 it won't be DeSantis. MAGA's not going to vote for DeSantis. Sorry, he's not. If it's Rubio or if it's Vance, MAGA's going to vote for Rubio or Vance. DeSantis won't get out of the primaries. Just like last time when everybody was like, Trump's time is done. DeSantis won Florida by 20. This is DeSantis' time. And DeSantis primaried Trump and got destroyed. That's what'll happen again. Just telling you right now. DeSantis' popularity in Florida does not extend nationwide. It just doesn't. So, Huckleberry says, Vance the statesman who will buff out the rough edges of MAGA. He'll mainstream it. I can't wait. I completely agree with you. Also, I'll say this, that, talking from a faith point of view, the Vance succession, even if it's Rubio, the succession matches much more the way God does it, raising somebody up from the succession line. That's true MAGA. DeSantis and Trump does not trust DeSantis 100%. I'll just tell you that right now. So, and Rubio's already said he won't primary Vance. So if Vance is running, Rubio will be his VP and he's not going to primary him. So just telling you guys the truth, Could I be wrong? Of course I could. It's a couple years away. Will I be wrong? Probably not. I'm very rarely wrong on this stuff. The people who've been around for 3.5 years will tell you. Listen, if you've been around for 3.5 years or 2.5 years, 3 years, whatever, just put it in the chat. Am I usually right about this stuff? You could just say yes or no, or 100%. If let everybody know. Do I usually know what I'm talking about on this stuff? I would say I do. So, let's see here. Who is a guy out of Wisconsin that imploded like DeSantis? Couldn't read the room. Scott something. What was his name? Scott Turner? That was a while ago, man. Peter says Trump needs to find and prop up people hardcore on H-1B visas. He is already doing that. He is. It's huge. Yeah, he absolutely is. Scott Walker, thank you. That's right. Yep. That's right. See, everybody's been here a long time. Yes. They all know. Like, this is one of the things I know. No, Vance did not say he's not going to run dangerous. He did not say that. He said he might not. And that actually didn't come out of Vance's mouth. That came out of others' mouth. But he did say, I'm having a kid. I'm going to think about it. That's what he said. So, yeah, it's but Vance, he never said he's not going to run. He never said that. In fact, Trump the other day said, wouldn't that be a great ticket? Vance and Rubio. Look at Trump. Look at Trump. Trump is telling you who he wants to be, up there. Trump never mentions DeSantis. Why do you think Trump never puts DeSantis out in public for everybody to see? He has no desire for DeSantis to run. Now, could there be a dark horse? Absolutely, there could be a dark horse. There always could be. But I really don't think it'll be DeSantis unless something significant happens in the next couple of years. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of time. There's a lot of time. All right, let me get to this last segment, guys, okay? I want to just talk about justice. This is for the no arrest crowd, all right? So let's just get into this real quick. Justice continues to come, guys, all right? So Trump has the DOJ working overtime and the fraud division with JD Vance. And we're just seeing more and more evidence of this. There's a lot of people out there, and I get this criticism on my channel all the time. Justice doesn't come in. Why do you do these videos? I'm unfollowing you because we're just not seeing it. Dude, if you're actually paying attention, you are seeing it. And this is one of the biggest ways right here. FBI has announced violent crime rate is now plummeted by the fastest rate in nearly 90 years. Guys, I don't care who you are. That is justice. I understand it's not Bill Gates behind bars. It's not Obama. It's not Clinton. I know that's what everybody wants. And trust me, I'd love to see it myself. But justice looks like making the nation better for the people in general. And that is 100% happening right now. And the rest, they're building up to it. Look at what's been going on here. So a bunch of fraud files just dropped. And this exposure is starting to change a lot. This is going to be corruption that's going to lead to arrest, but not only that, might fix our budget deficit. Listen to this. This is a great segment here by Jesse Waters.
The fraud files are back. Primetime's hunting down corruption, waste, and abuse. In Illinois, a mom rented a helicopter for her daughter's prom night. But the mom, Quintina Brown, works for the Parks Department and is accused of using tax dollars to book the chopper. An invoice shows she charged $800 to a government credit card. Quintina says there was no misuse of funds at all. She just wanted to give her kid an unforgettable experience. Police shut down the prom photo shoot. They say it landed in the park without a permit. One of Biden's special little projects is also getting shut down. Biden wanted to give sex toys to female vets.
Oh, my God.
The VA said it was for patient recovery. The vibrators went for $360 a pop.
By the way, this is a campaign ad right here. You just run this to remind people how insane Democrats are, and you wake a lot of people up from voting Democrat.
Sorry, ladies, you are now on your own. Women were also getting busy in California. The DOJ charged Anika Armstrong with a felony for paying homeless people to register to vote in California. She allegedly went down to Skid Row, paid him just a couple bucks, and used her former address on the paperwork. Every time Democrats say something's impossible, it happens. And I don't think they were voting for Spencer Pratt. All roads lead back to the fraud capital, though, Minnesota, where the alleged mastermind behind the Somali fraud ring just fingered Ilhan Omar. She thinks Omar knew they were stealing millions, and in a jailhouse interview with the Post, she said, quote, "I struggle to believe that she wouldn't have known." Now, we don't know if Omar's part of the scam or what's going on in her marriage, but the frauds are he's on the case.
I don't want to prejudge an investigation. I mean, you read the things about Ilhan Omar and about, who she married and whether she didn't marry this person or that person. It certainly seems like something fishy is there, but everybody's entitled to equal justice under the laws. So we're going to investigate it. We're going to take a look at it. If we think that there's a crime, we're going to prosecute that crime. And that's something the Department of Justice is looking at right now.
It's not just Omar. Tonight, Nancy Pelosi might be sweating.
I cannot wait to see Omar
I am
go
a
down.
big fan of banning members of Congress from trading stocks. So is the President of the United States. All of us believe that nobody should be taking proprietary information gained from public service and buying and selling stocks. We want to ban that process. And I think the way to lead by example is banning that process, banning that approach, and making it illegal, which is exactly what the president has proposed doing.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. So, guys, it is happening. Okay, the fraud thing is a really, really big deal. It gets criticism, or I would say that it doesn't even get that much criticism. I misspoke there. It gets ignored. But this is huge. Do you understand? Ilhan Omar, because of the fraud investigations, this might be the thing that takes her down. Way back in the day, if you ever seen the great movie The Untouchables, Elliot Ness, the famous FBI agent, took down the one and only Al Capone. How did he do it? Well, Al Capone was a murderer. He was a thief. He was a racketeer. All this stuff, they couldn't get him. How did they finally do it? Taxes. He didn't pay his taxes on time. They busted him on that, and they ended up taking down one of the greatest mobsters of all time. You don't think the Trump administration knows how to play outside the lines here, how to think outside the box and how to get the bad guys? They absolutely do. There's a reason why the Democrats are freaking out about the fraud stuff. That's what they're doing. They are terrified of this. And guys, one way or the other, they might have covered their bases on a lot of stuff in a lot of ways to hide their crimes. But eventually there's going to be something, and it's always about the money, isn't it? We have Scott Bessent shutting down all like Act Blue, Acorn, all these crazy Antifa, all their funding. He's shutting down. He's doing the same thing with Iran. He knows he's like he's weaponizing the Treasury Department to go after all this. And then Vance leading up the fraud team. We're going to see a lot of justice, guys. And I have a feeling most of it's going to be tied to money as it's coming out. Now, the other day we had Brennan and Comey both admit there were deep staters still in the government to undermine Trump. And here's Trump's response to that statement by Jim Comey.
Administration is over to get back to work. Do you think those people are still in the DOJ and FBI?
I hope not. Well, if they are, we're going to seek them out. We'll seek them out. We'll get rid of them. Okay? Because you have in every agency, you have scum. And certainly they did in the FBI and DOJ. But Todd Blanche is doing a fantastic job. Cash is doing a very good job. So we will prevail. I've been standing here a long time with you, many years, right? And they've been saying, I think it's it. I think he's trouble. Here I am, It's a very constant situation. But I think you're going to find that we have great people in the FBI. And we have great people in DOJ. Todd Blanche has really been doing a great job.
That was very interesting. So not only does he say we're going to hunt him down, but he also reaffirmed Cash and Todd Blanche, which Cash especially, remember April 2nd, Pam Bondi steps down. Alex Jones famously has Kyle Serafin on. Kyle, what you got to say about Cash Patel? Oh, well, he's going to be fired tonight. Oh, did you hear that bombshell report? Cash Patel about to be fired. Going to be out. And now here we are, middle of May. Cash Patel doing a screaming good job, and Trump's still all about it. Just like all the other psyops with all these other people, Tulsi Gabbard, they're always going after the most important people they're terrified of. Whether it's Tulsi, Cash Patel, Bondi, they went after her a ton before she stepped down. Soon it'll be Blanche. He's in his honeymoon period. Hegseth. They always go after these people, man, because they're terrified of them, because justice is getting done. And Trump just said, we're going to hunt them all out. We're going to weed them all out. You better believe it's already happening. You better believe it. And Comey and Brennan, the morons that they are putting it out there, And like James O'Keefe just caught the guy in the White House last week. They're going to keep finding them. And eventually you get busted. So this is also, though, one of the reasons it's taken a little while to get some of the justice rolling the way we wanted, because they're fighting themselves, guys. They're fighting people within the administration. A house divided cannot stand. Well, this house has been pretty divided because the deep staters, they don't leave easy. But we're getting there. And the you can tell we're getting there because things are ramping up. And the more good people we have in there, the faster things will move. And finally, this was just funny. I wanted to share this from Vance talking about fighting fraud in D.C. This is just a great little segment.
Fighting fraud in Washington, D.C., it's a little bit like fishing in a barrel with a nuclear weapon. It is the easiest thing to find. Every single day, my staff will bring me new reports of the ways that you're being defrauded. And there are all these look, there's a simple principle that I have, which is if you are committing fraud against the American people, you ought to go to prison.
Yes.
If you are a public official and you're not fighting against fraud, you ought to have your money taken away because you should not be able to steal from all of you and give it to fraudsters.
Amen.
So, and the thing I've learned about fighting fraud is that it is the ultimate non-victimless crime. They're fighting fraud.
Yes. I love it, man. So good. This is like, I mean, first of all, that guy's going to make a great president someday. I just got to say it. But listen, not only is he funny, he just told you what they're doing, guys. Fish in a barrel with a nuclear bomb is what he called fraud in D.C. It's everywhere. Every day he's getting new reports. And what did he say? These people deserve to be in prison. There you go. He just told you the administration's plan right there. How do you clean up D.C.? The corruption, the fraud. And Vance is leading that charge. He's doing it perfectly so far. We'll wait and see how it turns out. As always, we'll be covering it on here. Every little update. All right, guys. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you for watching. One of the many with a $10 super chat says, you have equipped me with an arsenal to challenge my lib friends at the upcoming Memorial Day barbecue. These updates keep me from getting swept away in the storm. Give me a way to stay grounded. Thank you, man. That is awesome. And that right there it perfectly explains why I do what I do. I just want people to be equipped. And listen, I'm not saying I'm right 100% of the time. I'm right most of the time. But, you know, where I'm wrong, I'll learn. And that is my promise to you guys, because I'll always be wrong honestly, and I'll grow from it. But if you guys are learning because of me, that makes it so worth it. And knowledge is power. But knowledge is only power when partnered with the experience and understanding that makes it wisdom. And so, you know, don't just take what I say, but process it as well. And that's my job, is to try the best I can to communicate in a way that makes sense, that it can be used. But on that note, guys, I'm going to have to get out of here. It's my kid's last day of school. My wife was teaching this year, so I have to help her clean up her classroom. Yeah, yay me. So gonna have to call it a day. But listen, I love you guys. I really appreciate everybody who super chatted today. I appreciate all the members for supporting the channel. And of course, I appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you for spending your day with me. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. I hope you got some out of today's live. And as always, I'll be clipping the segments so you guys can catch up on them more later. Guys, if nothing else, we're winning. We're winning so hard. MAGA is winning. Trump is winning. The agenda is moving forward. It's going to get better and better every day, every week. We're just going to keep winning. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be fights. They'll win little by little, but we're going to win the war nonstop. We're going to win the biggest battles. And that I just have no doubt of. I believe God is on the side of this administration. We're moving forward. And if you doubt that, go watch the clip I posted this morning about Trump rededicating the nation to God. It matters. Lisa asks, thoughts on Cassie McConnell Thune vote against all? They're going to make their voices heard sometimes, but it's ultimately not going to matter that much. Thank you, Heather. I'd like to see the channel grow too. Thank you. Especially because now I'm doing this much more close to full time. So thank you for that. And all the support helps, guys, especially, I obviously greatly appreciate the donations. But if you guys really want to support the channel nonstop, the best way to do it is to become a member, because you can always give extra if you want, or you're happy about that. But that at least locks in something I can rely on month to month to keep building this channel with. So the membership is free for the first month to try it out, see if it's worth your money. Go in the description, click the link, and get a free month. And we'd love to see you in the Discord, which runs 24/7. Just great people in there. All right, let's pray, and we're going to call it a day. And I'll see you guys at noon again tomorrow. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless everybody watching here today, Lord. I pray you just be with them throughout the rest of their day, be with them and their families. And Father, just we pray a blessing over President Trump, a blessing of protection, of wisdom, and boldness for everything he has to face, Lord, that he would come through it with the best answers and the best timing, and continue moving our country forward with him and everybody working with him, whether it's his administration, senators, representatives, everybody at the levels that matter. I just pray, God, you with all of them, and that blessing of protection, wisdom, and courage, God extends to all of them as well. Thank you for saving our nation, giving us another run at this. And God, we just call in that golden age. I truly believe you want to bring in that golden age, Lord, a better future for our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids, a better nation full of justice, God, faith, prosperity, and just, Lord, just bless us. I just pray that we could just get this country back on track and just be a blessing, Lord, to not only the people here, but to the rest of the world. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I love you guys. You're the absolute best crowd on the internet, and I'll see you all tomorrow. God bless. Have a great day.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is